I just remember this dude start coming out of his cell, and he was literally like covered head to toe in blood and was walking real slow. And I remember I had to stop and be like, whoa, what the?
Like, meaning she wanted you to
She says,
cooperate.
you know what you, she said, she never would ask me directly.
Yeah, and that, you
But
know what?
she
I'm
would say
so
it.
glad you brought that up. Sometimes a woman want a certain type of man, but when it comes to having a gangster man, you can't handle it.
Right.
You want the look,
Right.
but you can't handle the life.
Yeah, I went in there and it was just chaos. It was just it was just war going on, man, and I didn't know it. I was 18 and I did not know this was going on in the adults, and I was tripping.
This week's story is from Pockets. He did 20 years in Arizona Corrections, from juvie to going to prison at 16 and doing time with adults. He's seen riots, he's lost family, and he's done time with family on the same yard. He's even done time with a celebrity. This one's a great story of everything being stacked against you and staying solid and making it through. I know you guys are gonna like this one. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's get into the episode. We're not wearing that old, we're wearing the new Paisley Bandit sweatpants. Hey everyone, welcome back to Indicted TV. I'm your host, Negra. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram. Before we start, you know I gotta give a shout out to my sponsors, Royalty Honey. Keep it hard, guys. Also for the best jewelry for his glory. And if you're gonna get tatted, make sure you guys get tatted by the best. Loyalty Inc. in Rialto. And as far as streetwear, we don't wear none of that. Oh shit, we only wear shaka wear. And on today's episode, we have Pockets.
What's good? What's good?
Welcome to Indicted TV.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you for.
Thank you for taking the drive.
Oh yeah, it was a little drive.
No, yeah, it's definitely a little drive. Mm-hmm. So tell us where you're from. You know, I don't mean the gang. Where you grew up, mom, dad, brothers. How was the inside of your house growing up?
Well, I'm from Tempe, Arizona. I was born and raised in Tempe, Arizona. Pretty much, you know, well, if I gotta be honest, this was the part I wasn't so sure if I was gonna go to, but it is what it is, man. My mom passed away, so I didn't really know her. She passed away
when you were
a
baby.
Yeah, I was too young to know anything though. I was only like 4 months old, you know what I'm saying? And so I've been just raised with my nana, my grandfather, you know. And
that was your mom.
Yeah, that was my mom.
And thank God you had her, right?
Yeah. So my tia, when my biological mother passed away, my tia kind of tried to adopt me for a second, you know what I'm saying? And well, she did adopt me, not tried to, but you know, she was struggling on her own too. So basically, it was mostly just Nana, you know. So that's kind of my mom right there to me. But my household was just full of us. Everybody in the house, man. Like my household was just always full. All my cousins, all of us lived together. So all my tia's kids, everybody's at the same house. We all grew up together.
Well, that's kind of a good thing, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Super loving,
I love
chaotic.
It. Yeah.
And chaotic and loving is amazing. That means everybody's full of life.
Yeah.
And we're alive, right?
Yes.
And I was gonna say this because it popped into my head. You know, you say you didn't. You know, you were 4 months, so you really didn't know your mom.
Yeah, no,
but you
I
didn't. But you still had the love.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is the most important thing, you know. Obviously, people that obviously didn't ever experience not having a mother, we don't know how that feels. So we probably still feel that little like, oh man, I wish I would have known her, you know.
Yeah, no, sometimes definitely you think that, you know. But I think like most Mexican families, you know, we're in there so deep, and like, you know, there's so many of us in there, and everybody's always living together that we still felt the love. But I think when it gets like that, that's where it becomes like, you know, Nana has too much responsibilities, so there's got to be some sort of sacrifice in there, something that she got to kind of have to not do because there's too much on the plate, you know what I mean? So we might have had too much time on our hands, type of thing, you know.
So that means you and your cousins running around.
Yeah. but at the same time, like I think it was the generation as well, though. So it wasn't really something that I think it was. My nana or them didn't do right. It's more like, hey, we all did that. Everybody in the neighborhood did that.
Normal.
We were out running around since we were kids. You know what I mean? So I mean, I guess it was just normal.
Yeah, normal.
Yeah, normal. Yeah.
So you were always with your cousins. School was okay for you, elementary?
Yeah, so I went to school right across the street from where I lived, so it was in the same neighborhood, same everything. My house is literally right across from the school, so I would kind of like wait for the doorbell to, or the doorbell for the school bell to ring, and then I would just run across the street thinking I was cool. But yeah, so in elementary it was like I think up to fifth, and then because out there sometimes it's different. Sixth grade is when you start middle school. And depending on what city you're in. So I went to that school for about, I think, 5 years, Mm-hmm. And that's where it all started at, right there, honestly. Like, it already started right there.
In your middle school, you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I know it did because I was so young, but I thought I was already, like, gangbanging. You know what I mean?
Because that's all you really seen,
yeah.
right? That's all you really seen. Was it just you with your primos and your?
Oh no, like the whole neighborhood, man. So my neighborhood, we're real old school. We've been around forever. We're one of the first gangs neighborhoods in Arizona. And we're still right there. The neighborhood's still fully intact and everything. But since we were kids, man, that's all we did was just the whole neighborhood was
It's
just
normal.
together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, all day, every day. That's all it was.
But at what age did you see yourself actually like changing? Like, okay, yeah, everybody's part of the neighborhood and stuff like that, but
So
not everybody is part of the neighborhood, if that makes sense.
Me and my cousin were just talking about that, honestly, because he watched me grow. So he watched me grow up. So basically, he kind of might know me even a little bit better, you know what I'm saying, than my own self because he got to see it happen. But
The changes in you.
Yeah, and he told me he thinks I was probably about like maybe 10 or so. We were living in Phoenix because I'm from Tempe, which is right next to Phoenix. It's bordered with Phoenix. It's in the middle of the whole valley. But we moved to Phoenix on Van Buren, which is basically a strip. It was the strip of Phoenix. Now you got like 27th Ave, and you still have Van Buren right there, but Van Buren's not what it used to be. Like whatever the biggest strip was, the craziest strip you guys have out here or did have, that's what Van Buren was, and we moved right onto it. And so
Dang! So it was all
probably
bad.
about 10, Yeah, and you gotta we would probably park at like the Circle K and just walk the rest to the there were like a little studio with all of us in there. Yeah, it's just a studio, and pretty much that's where all the prostitutes and everybody's at. So we were walking right.
I see
as
what you're
kids,
saying.
we're
I
just
see
walking
exactly
right
what you're
past
saying.
It,
You have some water right there too, in
Thank
case
you.
get the sickest.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, so yeah, and I didn't even think of it like that, to be honest with you. But he says that's when he's seen it. I kind of feel like it was before that because I know how my mind works and how I used to think as a kid already. So I think that my mind was already going in that direction since I was a little kid. But probably around 10 or so is when it started really changing.
And do you have brothers or sisters, or it was just yourself?
Yeah, so I have my brother. My brother Mark, he's my older brother, so I have one full-blooded real brother. He's a year older than me. Then I have two little brothers and a little sister too, and they're technically my cousins. But because how I told you my tia, those were her
sisters.
first kids,
For sure.
But I was like 5 when she had
I
them.
understand that. For sure.
You know.
Yeah, those are your sisters, bro.
Yeah.
Those are your sisters.
But the first cousins were, oh man, I don't know, maybe like 15 of us in
In
the
one
house.
house.
In one house, absolutely.
Wow.
Probably more. That's just a quick guess.
Let me ask you this. I don't know if you remember or not, but you said when you moved to Phoenix on Van Buren is where like the prostitutes were at. Like, and
Right.
you remember seeing them?
Oh yeah, for sure. They're just out there, like they're just that's kind of the only thing you do see, honestly. I mean, if you're like walking or cruising, that's what you will see. That's not probably normal people walking around is not happening.
Oh,
what I mean?
that's how bad the area was.
Yeah, absolutely. Where if you saw a woman, you definitely would think that she's working.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so if you weren't working, you had to be dressed
Normal.
and maybe way not even normal because you would have had to just maybe put on a big old trench coat or something and cover yourself so that way people don't. I don't know.
Well, there's like those prostitutes that wear those trench coats.
Maybe
and
even that might not work.
That
So
is a good look.
I don't know, honestly. I'm just saying, like, that's just how
Yeah.
they're gonna assume it's like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you couldn't probably walk if you were a woman. You just wouldn't want to walk down that street for sure.
Yeah, it just wasn't appropriate. Wow. So, at what age did you actually get in trouble for the first time to where you got arrested and went to juvenile hall?
So the first time I actually like got arrested because I caught a little case, I think, when I was 11, but it was just I didn't go to jail over
Okay.
it, so that's got me on probation. And then like a year later, when I was 12, I believe, I actually went to jail.
And
at
what was it
school.
for?
I went to school drunk, real drunk. And,
Oh my God.
It was my first day of school. And and I don't know, I went over there causing a bunch of ruckus because I knew who was over there, and so I just went there to do that kind of, I guess, And
I mean,
thought
you're
was
12,
cool.
bro,
Yeah, I thought I was cool, so I was like
sure.
trying to make a big old entrance
You're
to
all
the
walking in
school.
all drunk. Yeah. No, I understand.
ended up-
I've
yeah.
done those vibes.
Yeah. And so I got into a couple fights that day for sure, and then I ended up getting into it with my principal, and that's kind of where that was the last straw, where they called the cops and had them come arrest me.
And then they took you in.
And I think they gave me like a little assault, honestly, because I grabbed her. She took my beanie off because there's like a little in-school suspension area that's in her office, and because of the fights I got in, they put me back there, and which is kind of crazy. You'd think they would send you home, but no, they literally just put you in the back. This is already a troubled school, mind you, so
Yeah.
this ain't no normal school anyway. So they literally put you in her office with her, and that's where you'll, do the rest of your day at. And she tried to pull my beanie off my head, and I was kind of like sleeping, I guess. I had my head on the table, and she tried to pull my beanie off of my head, and I just reacted by grabbing her arm and snatching it back from her. And so, yeah, she called the cops, and I got arrested. So
Yeah.
that was my first case.
And then you
ever.
and then they took you in.
Yeah, to jail, yes, as a juvenile.
And how
of
was that experience, if you recall?
course. I just remember being in the holding cell for a while, and probably was only there for like maybe half of the day, if that, maybe just a few hours, honestly. And I just remember, I was thinking I was cool, so I don't remember it being a scary time or anything, or
Yeah.
being scared or none of that. I just thought I was a kid thinking I was cool, so. Plus, I knew I was not going to stay there, so it was kind of not that bad, to be honest.
And then you came home, and what happened?
So when I came home, I mean, of course,
A few hours later.
Yeah, my tata's the one. He's more a little hard on me, I
Yeah.
guess. So he was the one more upset. They were both upset, but he was the one really upset at me, and just like any other parents, they probably just scolded me, I guess. That's really all I remember, man. I don't really remember. That part is kind of vague, but I know that as my nana did see it, she had talks with me though, like for sure, to try to calm me down, because she's seen it coming. So
She definitely seen the changes in you.
Yeah. For sure, yes.
So you came home. I'm sure you still started getting in trouble. Now you thought you were even cooler because now you already went to juvenile hall.
Yeah.
Obviously you're part of your gang already, or not yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, in my own head, I was thinking I was already gangbanging and like repping the neighborhood since I was like, man, since I was a baby, kind of like, I always thought that. But yeah, at that time, that's when I really thought that I was
Super
gangbanging. Yeah, I hadn't so I didn't really feel I wanted to get like jumped in or something like that because I'm born and raised in the neighborhood. But that still does happen, I guess. So I mean, I still went through that too, but I kind of felt I didn't have to. But homies were like, "No, you still
have to."
Yeah, you still got
That's what
to.
I'm saying. Like, just because you're raised in the neighborhood and that's your neighborhood doesn't mean you're actually part.
Right.
Because you're part of the neighborhood, but you're not part of
work
the.
already. We're already putting in work as a as a hood together, and so. But yeah, for sure, just to because
Just
you
to
have
clarify
to
that, guys.
you have to still go through it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? No matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what you've already done, no matter any of that. So yeah, because if not, the neighborhood's gonna be not hearing none of that.
Yeah. No, it's just not the way.
But that's at that time, so not yet. I mean, that was, I think, the next year that happened.
Because you said you were like 12 years old.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So you still in school, obviously you're still, I'm sure, drinking and doing your wild stuff. I mean, I don't know if you had girlfriends yet at 12 or whatever, but
No, absolutely not.
and girls are sometimes don't even come in the picture for guys until like they're like a little older. The young girls are like little fast ass.
Especially like, I just remember like that never being something that was on my mind. Honestly, like there's homegirls, you know what I mean. There's girls around, but
It wasn't your thing yet.
no, I was too young, and but it's weird that I say that because I was doing all this other stuff.
No, it's not. I don't find it weird. I always say this, like a lot of times I've said this a lot, few other episodes, I'm sure. You know, there's a young girl and she's like, oh, you know, the mom's like, oh, my kid doesn't go out. He doesn't do anything, but they're laid up in the room with a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Like,
Right,
that's
yeah.
worse. I prefer my kid. Okay, I take this back. I don't take it back, but it's like, I prefer my child to be out experiencing, doing whatever they're going to do than to be hugged up in the room with the boy. Or I
Right,
should say with the
I-
girl.
I know
Do
what
you get
you
what I'm
mean.
saying?
Yes,
Like,
yes, yes.
so and that's and I say that to say like I understand what you mean. Like that wasn't your thing. Like girls like I'd rather be in the streets running wild than
Yeah.
being that. I understand is
Yeah.
I guess what my point, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So you're out, you're doing your thing, still, you know, you're a boy, but you're a baby boy, bro. What happens?
So I just know I kept like once I got locked up, it kind of kept happening. Like I never really stayed out ever since then. So once I got locked up when I was 12, it just kept going fast, you know. So
In and
I
out,
was
in and out.
of juvenile halls. And if I wasn't in a juvenile hall, I was in a facility that was still like a lockdown facilities that they're basically rehabs / treatment centers for juveniles, and
Right, because you were using.
so I did start to, but even then, sometimes they'll put you in those places because the court wants you there because like they're not gonna. It's almost like a to kind of transition back out because they're thinking, okay, we're not giving you that much time. But no, I did start that. I did start doing drugs though, but so I don't know 100% if I went there because of that. But I know it first started because it just is kind of the process they do sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Where, like if they don't want to send you straight to Adobe Mountain yet, like, you know, which is like the YA out there.
It's called Adobe Mountain.
Adobe Mountain is
Okay.
our version of like what I think YA is. Or
Yeah,
like,
there's
you know,
no more YAs
right, no,
anymore.
nor is Adobe. But
Oh, okay, but it's just for an understanding. That's what it's called.
it would
Got
be
it.
you're in juvenile prison still
For sure,
charged as a juvenile, and you can't stay there any longer than you're 18.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so that's what Adobe was.
Got it. So they did all of these things before they tried to send you there.
Yeah.
To prevent you from at least getting sent there.
Right.
Until you can't. You're just like, bro, we're gonna send you there because you can't get it together.
Yeah.
What is your longest term that you did in juvenile hall?
It was usually like 3 months here, 3 months there. It was always months. You know what I
Okay.
mean? It was never years until I went to Adobe.
And how was it for you? Like, were you fighting there? What was
so,
it?
So Seth was just made up to. It's called Southeast Facility. Okay, so that's in Mesa, Arizona. Basically, all the East Valley. If you're a juvenile and you go to jail, you're getting locked up. You'll go to Southeast Facility.
Okay.
And if you're in Phoenix, you go to Durango. So I used to kind of be in both of them from time to time. I've been in both of them. So yeah, so pretty much that's where everything kind of even expanded more with the gangbanging and with all that stuff because the south side of Phoenix and the east side of Phoenix all would go to Southeast Facility as well, which is in the East Valley where I'm from.
Yeah.
So we started getting to know all these different hoods now too that we were never really around because we're out here. We all know all of us out here, but when they started coming from Phoenix and we would be in there, it just was, you know,
Like, who the fuck are these
every
fools?
kid in there is just gangbanging. That's all it is, you know. And so it was a lot of absolutely. That's all you do is fight. Really,
Yeah.
that's it.
What would you say was the craziest thing you experienced in juvenile hall?
In juvenile hall, you know what? If I gotta be completely honest about that, right there, it was my little homie. Because the very first pod that you go to, if you're like, it starts from 9 to 11 or 9 to 12, something is the first pod.
The ages.
Right. There's 7 pods. Okay. So and it goes by age bracket. So if you're 9 to 11 or 9 to 12, you go to the unit 7, which is where I started at because I was young. So I think it's 9 to, or must be 9 to 12 then because I was 12. So it's 9 to 12, I believe. and then 13, 14. There's 2 pods for the girls out of the 7, and then I think the first one. Oh, okay, no, I went backwards. But if it's the first one, then that's where you're 17.
Got it.
And the last one, 7, is if you're like 9 to 13. So, anyways, I've been to all of them except the one,
girls.
No, of course the girls, but except no. Actually, I even slept in those ones before because they'll sometimes make you do
Moving.
that. But no, the last ones were you're 16 or 17, which is I think 1 and 2 or something like that. I've never been to those because that's when I was already in prison by that
Got
time.
it. So what was the craziest thing?
Oh, so I'm sorry. The
It's okay.
craziest thing that I think I had to see her was my little homie was 9 years old, and I was 12. And oh man, he would just cry all day, every day, all night.
Fuck, he's
And
9.
I know, and I would feel so bad because he was my brother's little brother, my homie's little brother.
Yeah.
So when he was in there with me, I would be the one. The CO, the staff used to kind of let me, kind of like guide
Be
him
there
or
for
coach
him?
him. They would let me out of my room to talk to him sometimes to get him to go to the room because he wouldn't want to go to the room. He would never want to go to the room because they have times where you can come out and you lay on the floor and you watch TV. Basically, it's called your daytime, and you roll up your sweaters and you put them on the back of your head and you just chill and watch TV. And then after your time's up, you have to go back to your cell,
He didn't want to.
And he would never want to go back to his cell. No, he would never want to. He would cry.
I mean, he's
cry.
a baby. You're
Yeah.
9 years old.
And so I would have to like coach him. You know what I mean?
And it's so sad. Honestly, it's so sad. Just to even think about it, like now, now we're older. We're older. I'm 43. You're older. I mean, you're not older than me, right? But
No,
we're.
but I'm 38.
I didn't want to say your age in case you were. I'm glad you said it. And it's like I couldn't imagine my 9-year-old. Like what kind of things are like kids doing? Like, bro, what are you doing at fucking
Right.
9 years old? Like,
And
you get
and-
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and all the other stuff that I guess was just crazy about those was just the gangbanging, just everybody's gangbanging. So you got, we go in lines to chow, and everybody has to walk with your hands behind you, like your hands in your back and your head down. You can't look up. They do little things like they take points from you and stuff if you look up and stuff. So, and all those things kind of matter because it gives you benefits if
Of
you
course.
type of thing. So everybody's too scared to look up, but like everybody that was gangbanging don't care. Everybody's running from
if
one
anything,
line.
everybody's like,
Yeah, everybody's running from one line to the other to fight each other all
Yeah.
day. Every time we walk to chow, that's what's happening. Is
the down ones.
Yeah, everybody's trying to run up on each other. As kids, we used to do this thing that we would go like this. That meant like run up. So we would go like that. And the kids would.
All the kids are all running up. Oh, that's funny.
But
Okay,
no.
so then what happened? At what age did you actually like catch your case? Because you did a lot of time.
Yes.
You did 20 years. At what age? Because you're 38, right? And you did 20 years.
Right.
So at what age did you catch your case, and what led you to prison?
So, I mean, throughout those years, I was just, like I said, nonstop in and out. And that's when drugs came into play as well.
What type of drugs?
Everything, man. Coke, meth, everything. Was whatever,
Whatever was there.
Whatever it was, yeah. And both doing and selling it, you know what I mean, at the same time, and that is pretty much, and being a full-time gangbanger at the same time as a kid, though, so, that's another thing, too, that I'm not proud to say that at all. I haven't done a drug since I was 16, so I haven't touched nothing since 2003.
Oh, you should be proud of yourself. Even
Yeah.
you should be very, very proud of yourself.
Oh, that's probably my biggest accomplishment that I've
Honestly,
ever made,
that
for
you
sure.
went through your prison term 20 years and didn't do drugs. That's kind of like, I don't think
Yeah.
that's, I've never heard that.
Right. So that was the thing. I think I was too young to understand how I was making myself look. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought I was being a little badass. I thought I was being a little G. I thought that whatever, if I'm doing drugs or if I'm whatever, selling them, doing them, that I think I'm being, I think I'm being cool. or
not
something.
realizing
Yeah,
that you're just looking like a smoker.
Looking
Yes.
like a straight smoker that's gangbanging at the same time.
Yeah. And I say that and I look at the camera because it is not cool, you guys. I smoked meth for 15 years. You don't really know that because we don't know each other. And
Right.
obviously you haven't been out that long. Imagine, guys, 20 years. And look how young he is, though. Like, look.
But I got all these wrinkles now, so.
I not even that bad. So I say that because, like I said, don't ever be ashamed of it. It is what it is, and be proud that you
Yeah.
didn't use. When you were incarcerated, bro, people lose themselves in there, and I'm sure you've seen that. And I'll ask you more questions about that as you get to prison. So tell me, what led you though? Like, what happened?
So my actual case that I caught though, I was 16. By this time, I had already been to Adobe Mountain and all that. So at this time, like I'm super gang banged out. Like that's all I think I'm trying to do.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So that's all I want to do, really.
You're eating, breathing, everything
That's
is.
it. And I'm just like, every time I get out of jail, I'm trying to put in more work or do more than I did last time. That was my goal every time I got out. And so by this time I caught a case. It was, I think I had two separate cases, to be honest with you, at the same time. One was for what they call Shannon's Law, for shooting your guns in the air. It's called Shannon's Law because it's named after a girl that got hit by a bullet coming down out of the air before.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so they gave me, I think they charged me with, which I wasn't shooting in the air anyways, but still, that's what they charged me with. They charged me with disorderly conduct and a bunch of like gun charges, basically. I forgot what else. I think there were stolen firearms and endangerment too. I think they gave me endangerment. It was stuff like that on one side, which was actually the least of the worries at the time. You know what I'm saying? That's just what they actually arrested me for. But they had already been investigating something that happened down the street from my house at a quinceañera. And that's what I really got the time for, because they ended up charging me with that, which was a stabbing that happened at the party, basically at the quinceañera. And I was 16 when that happened. I barely turned 16, so I'm almost certain that when that happened, I was still 15, and then I turned 16, and that's when they charged me, like right after that. So it was kind of around that year, 15, 16. But I went to prison when that case started when I was 16, though.
So you're 16 years old and you're getting charged with a lot of these big charges, especially because out there, like, you could like buy guns anywhere, no?
Yeah, so I was a kid. I shouldn't have had them anyway, but it is like that. Everybody has them out there because it's like an open carry state. You don't have to.
But I guess when they do charge you, you get charged a lot more, huh? Or no? You get what I'm
What do
saying?
you
Like since everybody's able to carry guns,
Oh yeah, for
Like,
sure. If you're not allowed to and you do, then yes, you're
you
gonna
get served
Yeah,
up.
if you get out there, they don't play around with the what is it called? I forget the term that they use, but it's prohibited possessor. So if you're prohibited possessor, and like I would be if I was carrying a gun, oh yeah, absolutely, they'd probably give me 5 years at least, maybe more, because I would be a category 3, which is extra.
Like you can't even carry at all. You can't even be near one.
Yeah.
So you're 16 and how did you get arrested?
So I got arrested because I was just kind of like being dumb, I guess. But to be honest with you, I remember how I felt. I was like super tired of what I was doing. Honestly, I was super tired of it. So I kind of caused a big old scene in my front yard, and almost like tried to clean up a couple things first and then let them take me. I was so dumb. I thought that, like, I don't care. Like, I'm over it. You know.
And you're
what I
all
mean?
drugged up too, so.
Yeah, same thing, So I just I remember getting into it with my tata, and he would always think that my guns were like pellet guns, because I would tell him that they were, because I used to do stupid stuff like walk right through the house with all my rifles and shit, and he'd be like looking at me like what
What
the
is
hell
this
is
guy
that?
doing?
And I'd be like, relax, they're pellet guns, they're chill, you know what I'm saying? But no, they were always real.
He knew. He knew.
Yeah, and so like I got into it with him, I think, and I was just probably doing drugs, like I said, so I was probably not feeling good, and I just said, you know what, I'm over this shit, man, and but I was super mad too at the same time. So like I just remember I was just shooting my guns into the trash can, making a big old ruckus into
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I don't know why I did that. It was just stupid.
I
But
mean, you don't know. You're 16.
Yeah,
You're going through your own emotions.
I was just, and honestly, I was just kind of causing a scene, to be honest with you. Like, I knew that he wouldn't like that, and I just walked outside.
You just wanted
and
to be an
and
ass.
on my way. Yeah, like I wasn't doing it at all. My tata's my king. I would never do nothing towards him. But I was so, I think, just upset and just messed up in my head that I don't know why I did that. I was just
Yeah.
being stupid, and I was just letting them off out there. But I thought I was doing it as safe as I can because there's no way it was going into the floor. Basically, how it's set up, I know it's going into the floor.
So then you got picked up
Yeah,
outside
so
of
I
your
get
house.
arrested and walking down the street basically, and I go to jail, and then basically about like maybe it was a few months later I get page 2, which is like you get recharged for other stuff, while you're already locked up. So on that first case for the shooting my guns off in the city limits, that's what they charge you with, discharging a firearm within the city limits, or slash Shannon's Law, Anyhow, so they pretty much were only going to give me 6 months for that. I had already signed a plea. It was the day before my sentencing. No, it was actually technically, the day before my sentencing because I already signed the plea. So I remember I went, or before I went, they came and they page 2'd me. And then when I got page 2'd, the next day I still went to court and they were just letting me know that they pulled that plea, that it obviously can't stay there now because you got another case now, you know what I'm saying? And this one was for the stabbing.
For the
so
stabbing.
that one was the big one, yeah.
And when they said it, how did you feel?
At the moment, she came looking for me in the pod. We were juveniles, so we're juveniles being charged as adults at this time. This is back in the day. It was Madison County Jail, but now
This is what year?
this would have been 2003,
Okay.
and it was Madison County Jail. Now it's called Fourth Avenue. They got a different jail now. It's a new jail called Fourth Avenue. But back then it was Madison, so I would have been in the juvenile section. They had like 8 floors. I think I was on like level 5, where the juveniles were at. We wear stripes with a yellow sleeve right here, so that
They know.
indicates you're a juvenile. Yeah, they call it the bumblebees. So we used to be right there, man. But I got page 2 from that, and so the next day they pulled my plea. It went literally overnight, went from 6 months to 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Well, 9.5 technically what I did. Yeah, so I was super like happy already, thinking I got at most 6 months that I'm gonna have to do. You know what I mean? I won't even go to prison. I'm thinking I'll just stay right here. And honestly, too, if I gotta be honest, I remember when I caught that case, I didn't care because I had already been to Adobe Mountain, which is like YA. So I thought I was just gonna go till I was 18, no matter what I did. As long as somebody didn't die, I ain't tripping. I'll go till I'm 18. I thought, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hell nah. They told me that you're being charged as an adult. And they took me to Madison, and blew my mind. You know what I mean?
For
They said no. Forget Adobe. You're going to jail with the big boys.
With the big boys.
We're all like, everybody around us is adults. We're the only juveniles just right there. You know what I mean? And we see them every day.
Yeah, you guys are in the same location, but obviously different units
Right.
or pods just for the juveniles. And obviously these juveniles are all being charged.
So, I'm sorry, but to answer your question, it was devastating for real. Like I probably didn't show it too much, but yeah, it was devastating to know
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
And it literally went from 6 months to they agreed on 5 years in the plea. The plea was 5 to 10, and they agreed on 5 years, both prosecutor and the my lawyer, which usually is exactly what the judge will do. It's very rare the judge is going to intervene and change that. But on my case, it was different, and he wanted to intervene and give me the maximum, because that judge that was my judge at the moment, he was a guy that had tried a couple of my OGs before that got off of a case for almost killing some gang squad members. So my OGs had got into some stuff with the gang task force and caught a case where it got bad. It was crazy. It was all over the news and everything. Everybody knows about that situation from the neighborhood, And they won. They all won trial and got away scot-free with doing in like, I don't know, 3 or 4 gang squad undercovers, because they were chasing his brother. He was on the run also for a murder, and they were chasing him from a car wash that he was doing basically for his brother who just died, and they chased him.
Oh, wow.
And so basically that was a big reason I'm putting that in there, is because that was a big part of my case that didn't get publicity. Like, people didn't know that this judge was the same judge that just lost that trial to my OGs, and he was mad.
So it kind of took it out on you.
Yeah, so I ended up getting 9.5 out of that. So instead of 5, it went straight to 9.5. So
And then you went straight to adult prison?
yes. Well, when you're 16, I was 16, so you do your first couple years until you're 18 in the minor section in Tucson. It's still on the yard. You're still wearing orange DOC clothes. Well, ADC. You're still wearing orange just like the adults would. You're simply just waiting to turn 18 so they could open the gate and let you go to their side. You know what I mean? Like there's a tarp covering us. It's the same yard.
You just can't see the adults.
Yeah, it's in the adult side. It's a 4-yard called Recon, and that's in Tucson. And on this side of on the same yard, but on this side of the fence, it's the miners' yard. Yeah, so it's pretty much part of Recon. It's
Same
just
thing.
separated from a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
gate.
because you guys are minors and you guys can't be
So
with
I
the
did my
adults.
first 2 years pretty much as a juvenile, and then when I was just waiting to turn 18, you know.
And how was it for you? Like, obviously, like you went from, what did you say it was with the M?
Madison, yes.
Madison, you went from there to the
Recon minors when I got sentenced.
And what was the difference? Like, was it the same?
So, no, if I gotta be honest, the difference started in Madison already.
Okay.
The difference was, it's almost like if you're an adult and you're in the county and you go straight to prison, like, you know, county's obviously way different, but it's still connected kind of, you know what I mean? So it would be the same thing like that for us. Like, we're in the county already, and at this point, we're representing the Brown. Like, we're together as the Brown now.
you're not gangbanging anymore.
No, not no more. Because in Adobe Mountain, we're all gangbanging still. Once you go to the actual minors where you're being charged as an adult, that's when I wouldn't say the gangbanging stops at all, because it's still hectic. They're still minors. We're still kids.
Yeah.
But no, we're together as the Brown now. So when you walk in, absolutely, you know, you either go with the Brown or you go with the blacks, or, you know, the Chiefs, you know, or the white boys. But
Or the white boys. You know, it's crazy that you say that. The Chiefs, right? Natives.
the natives. I'm sorry. Yes, the natives.
I didn't really meet Native Americans until I went to the feds in Arizona.
Right.
Because I did a little bit of time there,
Yeah.
right? And at first, I thought they were Mexican girls.
Yeah, yeah.
I literally thought they were Mexican. And they were like, we are not Mexicans. I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but we became very good friends. I have a lot of Native friends, right? But when you say that, I was like, I never thought, because out here in California, like there is,
Right.
but not like in Arizona.
Not their own whole car type of thing.
Exactly.
Right.
And I don't even mean in prison. I just mean in
Everywhere,
general.
yes.
Just
no,
in general.
They're deep out there. The natives are deep in Arizona, man. Shout out to the Chiefs, man. I
Yeah,
love all
shout out
my
to them.
Chiefs,
Shout out
man.
to everybody.
We call those our primos. Those are our cousins right there, you know? So, but yeah, so it's pretty much like that as a juvenile already. In Madison, you're already kind of rolling with your color now, you know what I'm saying?
Got it.
And in Adobe, you weren't. So then from there, you go to the Recon minors, and it's kind of the same thing. It's just now you're wearing orange instead of the stripes, and try to be a little bit more organized, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Carry yourself more
Absolutely. And so,
manners, respectful.
yeah, and so when I was in the minors, this is when I saw the crazy thing that I didn't know, really, honestly. And if I did know, if I did ever hear of it, I didn't maybe catch it fully or pay attention. But in the county, everybody's there. Everybody's there, meaning everybody, you know. And then I get to the Recon minors, and they put me in this section. You know, that's technically, it's GP. It's called GP, but it's just a little run of its own, and it's everybody from Arizona. You know what I mean? And there's 3 runs in this building. It's for the juveniles, and so you got A, B, and C. And to my surprise, we were separated. Like, I didn't know. I really didn't understand why or how or what, but we were separated from the Mexican nationals and the Cali boys, the Califas, for a minute. Like, so I didn't know I was a juvenile, and when they
What is a Cali boy?
So the basically the homies from Cali, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, homies from Cali that get busted out in Arizona.
Right.
Okay.
Cali is so deep. Shout out to all California.
No,
too,
I
man.
have so
love
many
Cali.
friends that live out there. I mean, they're just living their life,
Yeah,
like adults,
and-
normal. But I have so many friends in Arizona.
Right. Yeah, so and honestly, that we were juveniles and stuff, so we didn't know nothing about that. We didn't know why we were
Not yet.
separated from
Yeah.
anybody. You know what I'm saying? And why? But it was weird because we're just in the county and we're right there together, like everybody's together. You know what I'm saying? And then we go to the yard and we hear that we're like we started hearing of it in the county, but we were like, for what? Why are they doing that? Like,
Because
what-
you're kids and you don't know yet. Yeah.
Right. And don't get me wrong, like Cali was deep in the county too, like as a juvenile, like and but we were just all homies, like, you know, it was just all the Browns still, no matter what, you know what I mean? And so it was kind of that's probably the part that as juveniles we just, you know, I don't know, didn't
Didn't-
understand or whatever, you know what I mean? But still though, so when I got there and I seen that, I still didn't really fully know why that was like that, you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, so we were just separated in our own little spot right there. So it was a small yard, man. So it was real boring, you know, but it was just popping. That's all everybody did was just trying to fight all the time,
I
man.
mean, with a bunch of boys, what else can you really do, right?
Yeah, that's all everybody did, man, you know. And now like how we're talking about, because it's a more everybody's more of a together with their own people, like with their own color. You know, basically it turns into you know, now we're kids having race wars and riots with the
in the
others.
in the other yard in the Yukon, what is it?
Recon.
Recon. That's when you start actually seeing everybody's with the race,
Right.
Like an actual prison.
Right. Yes.
Ah,
Yeah. So everybody would be more together and supposed to be, you know, but we're still kids. So like I said, being organized probably wasn't the right word to use, but
Yeah.
we tried to be a little bit, you know.
so when you turn 18, what happens?
So I go. Usually, if you're a juvenile, your points should still be low. You know, so when you're in recon minors, which would be kind of the juvenile version of Alhambra, which is like intake, you know, where you get your points and figure out where you're going to go and all that. So they would do it in Tucson for us juveniles. So I never got to see Alhambra, and everybody when I got to be adult, turned 18, everybody would trip out and say, you know, how you never been to Alhambra? Especially because I did so much time already, you know, people would trip out on that because we skip it. We just do it ourselves over there in Tucson, right?
Got
so you should be low is the point when you turn 18 and just go to maybe a 2 yard or maybe a 3. You know what I'm saying? But because I was so wild and my points were so high from everything I was always doing, yeah, I went straight to SMU, you know, so which is the shoe version of out there for us. It's called SMU.
SMU. Okay.
Yeah, that would be like the shoe out here, at least from what I think. You know?
As soon as you turned 18, that's where they send
That's
you.
exactly where I went on my birthday. So my 18th birthday was me going straight to the top. Yeah,
Oh my God.
straight to the as far as levels. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Straight to that would be a 5. So SMU is a 5. You got SMU 1, you got SMU 2, and then under that is like Central, which is considered a 5 still, but they're not completely slammed down 24/7. They get a little bit of love, but that's in between a 4 and 5 basically. It's like a low 5, and then after that you get straight to the 4 yard. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So then what happens?
Well, so when I turn 18, I go straight to the adults, man, and at first I thought they were gonna shoot me over just to the other side. I'm thinking maybe I'll be on a 4, you know. And no, they took me straight to over there it's in Florence, you know. So I was actually surprised that they were taking me there, and I was pissed because I wanted to be with all my homies. I already knew where all my homies were at from the neighborhood, so I had like a whole list of every single homie on every single yard from my hood. So that way, wherever I went, I would already know who's all there and stuff.
Okay.
So I did all that, you know.
And in Florence,
In Florence, you can't do nothing. You're just by yourself. So I get there.
Oh, that's where I
It's-
went to my prison in Florence.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you know and in this place it's 4 up top and 4 on the bottom. Okay. So there's only 4 people on the top, 4 people on the bottom because they're single man cells. So you got 8 people per pod, and yeah, it's just super slammed down. It's just, you don't get nothing over there, nothing. You just starve, and you're by yourself in that damn cell forever. So yeah, you don't get no rec. You get a fake rec. The only rec you get is this little room that would be smaller than this right here, and it's just that's all. You just go in there by yourself with nothing in there. But the reason people go is because the walls go real high and there's a cage at the top, so you can actually see a little piece of the sky.
Ah.
So if you go to rec, you're by yourself, but that's the only thing to go out there for, is if you really want to feel some fresh air.
Yeah.
But
Was your family there for you those few?
yeah, so I had my nana and my brother and all my, I got a lot of family, so I still had my family there, definitely, especially at that time. My nana was still alive and everybody was still there, so I definitely still had everybody there on the side of me. But like, I remember it was tough on my nana, so I didn't have a TV or anything right away, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was kind of a little like disappointed that I was there, because I already knew I can't get a TV right now, because
You didn't know anyone.
yeah, not yet. You know what I mean? And now I definitely can't. So anyway, but I came into prison. I turned 18 in February of 2005, and so we don't know nothing. We're kids. We don't know anything at all. And if anybody did know about something, it would have been me, because I was that one wilding as the juvenile.
Yeah.
When throughout my whole time there, I was, so I probably would have been the one to know of something if I didn't. So to my, shock and surprise, when I turned 18, man, I went in there and it was just chaos. It was just it was just war going on, man, and I didn't know it. I was 18 and I did not know this was going on in the adults, and I was tripping.
But what was going on?
Well, there was a war going on. It was just cracking everywhere in the state, and we didn't know this. I did not know how we didn't know this. So it was just a bad time that I turned 18. And
Yeah,
went
it was
in
like the
there.
worst timing.
Yeah, so the whole state was just in chaos at the moment, you know what I mean? But it's kind of, I think, like, it worked out good for me, because I was so young. I probably wouldn't have really known exactly what to do right off the rip as a kid, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So it almost kind of gave me a little bit of a, like, heads up, kind of, like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, I didn't have to physically be right in the middle of a storm that I didn't know existed or something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it gave me a little bit of a cushion for a quick second, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
everything happens for reasons.
But pretty much though, like, in all reality, aside from that, that's not even the part that messed me up, as probably being the kid right there, was just like never coming out, never ever, like, you stay starving 24/7 in there. Like, but I met my neighbor the day I got there, and he happens to be from they're like my vecinos, they're like my neighbors right there in the neighborhood. They're from Guadalupe, so that Guadalupe is right next to my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever heard of Guadalupe? So Guadalupe is a town right there, right by Tempe and Phoenix and Chandler, all the valley. It's basically right next to us.
I guess
too.
I have. I guess now that I sit back and think, yeah, I guess I have. You know.
Yeah, and it's a big known town for sure. It's small, but it's super known.
Yes.
It's super known and big. You know what I mean? It's kind of almost like how you describe your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how Guad kind of is. But anyways, my neighbor was from there, so he was an OG from Guadalupe. So when I got to meet him, which he was my only neighbor, because I had the rec cage on the side of me, so I only had one neighbor. You know what I mean? And then whoever was on top of me. But I met him, and he was right next to me, so that made me super comfortable, man. I remember.
You needed that, especially
Yeah.
because you're so young, man. You needed like something.
He used to just fish me stuff all the time. Like, we would fish through the vents and stuff. And
And how did you learn to fish?
by him, he taught me right off the rip. No, actually, no, I take that back. I knew as a juvenile. I'm tripping. I knew as a juvenile, but he taught me a lot of extra things.
Wait, how did you guys fish through the vent? Tell me.
Okay, so yeah, no, you basically use any sort of paper, newspaper, whatever you choose. You roll it up, whatever you got, and you make it super skinny. You just kind of keep attaching them, basically. You know what I mean? You keep kind of like going as you go, roll, and they get real skinny, and you can fish them through the vent. So, like, because the vents have holes, so you just basically just poke it through there, and he eventually, will see it come through his, because you'll be kind of seen as you go, you know what I mean? And you make it to his vent, and then once you do, you get it through one of those holes, and he'll grab it and he'll pull it, and you attach a line to the end of that, and so he'll pull the line through, and then he'll attach something on it, which I remember the first thing he did that with was a headphone.
Aye.
Well, yeah, he did that with the headphone. I think it was like one headphone. I was gonna say the jack, but no, I think it was the actual headphone, because I didn't have a TV. So he fished me a headphone, and he made a super long wire, like he made an extension basically to where I can lay on my bed with the headphone
And listen.
and I would listen to the TV with them. Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah, and he'll be flipping through the channels and shit, and I'll be like, "Hey, go back, OG, what was that?" And he'll be like, "Oh, I remember one time it was rush hour, and he was like, hey, And I was like, watch that right there. He was like, fool, how many times you seen Rush Hour? I said, probably a grip, but I feel like I'm watching it because I
Because
know
you
it's so
know
good.
it.
Yeah, I know it's so good. Put
Oh.
that on, you know what I mean? So I remember we'd do that all the time until I got a TV. Yeah.
Oh, because you're able to remove the vent thing to be able to pull it out, huh?
No, I would just pull it through. He would attach it on the line, and the headphones actually, the
Fit
head
through
part
the-
fit through the hole.
Oh, okay, so you could only fish things that are small.
Yeah, actually, no. I take that back. You're right. I knew I was tripping. It's the jack. I fished it to him. So because the headphone don't fit, it's the jack part will fit though. So that's the part we fished to him. First, we fished it outside the door, and then when I got it, I fished him the other side. You know what I mean?
Wow, it takes time. I mean, que más
Yeah.
tenemos? We have enough time, right? But
Oh yeah.
that's crazy.
And so we do that same thing with cooking in there. We literally would be fishing stuff straight on the floor. You'll just see a burrito or a tamal just dragging on down the whole pod.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, those are memories, you know, of
Yeah.
the life you lived and the consequences, not even consequences. That's just how life is,
Right.
you know, and there's nothing we could do besides adapt to what it is, you know?
So I had him right there, and that made me feel a lot more comfortable. But I probably only stayed there for I want to say 9 months maybe. And because of everything going on at the moment, they were needing people in there all the time, so they were just shooting people out anyways early. So I kind of got a little early
Release.
out of there, and pretty much was only there for 9 months.
Oh,
So.
well, that's good then. And then you went where?
Yeah, and then I went down to a 4-yard from there, man. And even though things were real hectic and stuff, I'm just glad that I went where I went. I went to a place called Buckley. It's a 4-yard in Buckeye, Arizona too. And yeah, it was super wild. But I just know that I was just grateful that just for the way that it was, and for staying safe and still being there. You know what I mean? I was grateful that I ended up with some of my homies, and I felt comfortable and safer. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, because you're young.
yeah, so once I got there, the first thing I wanted to do is just get with my homies, you know what I'm saying? And I was even telling people that in SMU too. And I remember people being like, that don't matter. None of that matters. What are you talking about? You're waiting for your homies. None of that matters. You know what I'm saying? And in my head, I was like, I don't care what nobody says. I'm still waiting to see my homies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It does matter.
It does matter, absolutely.
Of course it
does.
matters.
Yeah, it's just certain
course you
people.
wanna see somebody
it's just
familiar.
certain people that are gonna say stuff like that. You know what I mean? But no, you know what I mean?
Just because you probably don't got any
Yeah,
homies,
no,
respectfully, you know?
yeah,
But
yeah.
of course it matters is to see a
Absolutely.
familiar face.
For sure, always feel so comfortable when you're in there. When
Yeah.
you get to see somebody that you know. Even if you don't really know them like that,
But you know he's from the hood.
You know who they are at least. Yeah, you definitely will probably.
Especially because
gravitate
I don't know about guys, but us girls, we become close.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah.
It's like we're best friends in one day, you know?
Yeah. I think it's kind of like that in there for
Yeah?
us too, though. Honestly,
Oh, okay.
so it can be. You know what I mean? I remember as a youngster, it was meeting a homie that you just felt was just like you or whatever, felt solid
Yeah.
like you, and you just attached
That's my dog.
each other.
We're gonna go
you
eat
just
like
kinda-
everything together.
And everything you do is together. I think everybody always has a homie like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you do the whole 9 years in Buckley, you said?
No, I did. I think 4 years in Buckley. I think I did.
What would you say was the craziest thing you experienced in Buckley?
Oh man, Buckley was wild. So I love Buckley, man. And it's like anytime I meet somebody that's still around from back then, I fucking I feel good. I love it. But it was just super wild though. So it's kind of hard to say, man. It's super hard to say, especially. But man, I'll tell you what though, man. I won't get into too much detail, but I definitely seen my fair share of stabbings and killings and all that. Of course, like anybody else, you know. But one situation that always stands out, and it's kind of not even about what happened because it was the CO. It was a CO woman. Nothing happened to her. She was actually super cool. Everybody liked her. You know what I'm saying? She was pregnant though, and we were coming from what we call multi-faith,
Which is
basically it's like all the Asatru, Aztec religion, and you know what Asatru is like. You know what that is, Asatru? So basically, like, it's just different religions, but
All in one room.
kind of, you go to the same. You're not together because if you're a different religion, they'll be over here and you'll be out there doing your thing. So
Okay,
like,
so basically a room where it's like you're going to church, but everybody goes to church at the same time.
Yes,
Got
kind
it.
of, and you're just in your own. Like they'll be out there, or we'll be in there. Like if it's their turn to be outside, we'll be inside.
Got it.
So it's basically just like we'll be there. We were there doing our Aztec rituals and stuff like that at the moment, and that those dudes would be the Osatrus. The Osatrus will be there too, which is usually like the white boys. You know what I'm saying? The white boys would be doing their thing out there. That's their religion, you know.
What religion is that? Like, what is
Yeah.
it? Like, what do they believe in?
I
or
can't
what?
really honestly say too much. I mean, not that I can't say too much. I don't know too much to say.
Okay.
But it's
like it's
just,
not God though.
It's not Jesus.
Oh.
It's not Jesus. That's for sure. It's,
Okay. Dark.
What is it?
Is it dark?
No, not really. No, it's like I don't want to offend the white homies by saying something wrong. What it is, but it's their own religion, and it's more old school, to be honest with you. Just like even the Aztec, just like even our, you know, what we did, it was more something that was real popping and
Okay.
it was out at that time. But
Okay.
that was, and honestly, I can't really, I don't know what the
I'm gonna
names of
search
the,
it. No, I'm gonna search it because I don't know.
want to say the wrong thing
No,
and
for
people,
sure.
you know, to, but
Oh, he doesn't know what he's
it's-
talking about.
Yeah, it's their own religion, and honestly, I would say some stuff because I feel like I kind of know, but if I'm wrong, I don't want to go there. So. You
They're
know
gonna
what I
be
mean?
like, this fool doesn't know what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
but
Yeah.
it's the hardcore white boys. Put it that way. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Got it.
And anyways, man, which I shout out to all the white boys, man. I love all the homies too, man. But so we were coming back from our services one time, man, and so that lady was pregnant and she was up in the bubble, and she was just kind of being a little loose with it because she was pregnant and she was on the phone and stuff, and she left too many buildings or doors to buildings open while she was on the phone, and you know, probably shouldn't have done that, obviously, but
Oh no.
yeah. So anyways, all I know is that somebody ended up getting
Hurt.
real bad. Yeah, somebody ended up getting stabbed grips and grips of time. So I walk into the pod, and I didn't even know what happened, honestly. I did not know everything was going on or what happened. I just remember I walked in and was about to go to my room. My cellie was on the phone because my door was like open. It was one of the only doors in the whole pod open because it's a 4-yard. We're locked down. And so I'm thinking, okay, my cellie's over here on the phone, and you know, we're right here. Well, and like I said, there's only like a couple doors open at this time. You know what I mean? Because we're coming back, and but what I mean is they left open too many other doors too, and we're just being a little more laxed, I guess, at the moment because, you know, it was nighttime. It wasn't like we were even supposed to be out there. Anyway, so I just remember this dude start coming out of his cell, and he was in boxers, and he was literally like covered head to toe in blood and was walking real slow, and I remember I had to stop and be like, whoa, what the is this? You know what I mean? Like I had no clue about what the hell happened or anything. I didn't know.
Wow.
So I just remembered I was just like trying to get her attention a second ago. So I already knew what she was doing. So when I saw this, my first thing I wanted to do, he was walking towards the bubble. He was trying to get to the bubble. So I'm like looking up at her and I'm like, oh, wow. Like I ain't even gonna lie. I kind of even froze and I just stood by the door. And I was just, because he's in my way. He's in between me and the cell.
And he's like drenched.
And, yeah, and my cellie's on the phone around the bubble right there. He's on the phone talking to his mom, just thinking, you know, he doesn't know what's going on. And he's just chopping it up with his mom. And I just was stuck looking at this dude, man, because he actually had a knife in his hand. And he was just shaking and even like he was in bare feet. So I remember every single footprint was left. And
oh wow, that really stuck to you.
Yeah, for sure. And because I remember, like, you know, I was kind of my brain probably was in different areas at that time. So stuff like that, I probably was like wanting to see, I guess, almost like, you know what I mean? Like, damn, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
no, I'm not trying to even glorify that. I'm just
No,
saying,
of
as a
course.
kid,
You're just, of
as a
course,
kid, you're kind of like,
curious.
yeah, you know what I mean? And so, I just remember like being stuck looking at it, looking at the floor as he was walking, and then like checking his whole body out and just being like, wow, how is this dude walking? And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous because he had that thing in his hand, but I could tell he was super like
Out of it.
out of it, yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, he was huge and he had that thing in his hand. I'll tell you what, I wasn't gonna mess with him.
That's
So,
right.
anyways, I was just waiting to see her reaction because I know this lady and I know what she's on the phone right now. I could tell she wouldn't even listen to me. I was trying to knock on it, so. Not to him. I was already trying to get her attention. Is
No,
what I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
prior
yeah.
to that, right? So now I'm just stuck. Like, whoa, I can't go nowhere anyways. He's in between me and the cell. So I was just watching him, and she comes and he knocks on the window with it. Like he finally makes it to the bars, and like he holds on to the bars because it's kind of about 4 or 5 feet where the bubbles start. So their feet will be where your head is at, kind of like you have to look up to them. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he holds onto the bars and he's tapping it with that thing, you know, and like he loses all his strength and he just kind of like drops
Falls.
it. But I was just looking at her, waiting for her to see this. Yeah, she just turned around and when she saw him, she just lost it. Like I remember that phone was flink because it's on a cord, you know, it's her like the bubble phone basically. It was like swinging around, and she was just like grabbing her head, just spinning around in circles. Then she was screaming. Then
Did he stab himself?
I don't know what happened, but I'm
Okay.
pretty sure he did not do that himself. But
We
like
took
I
it-
said, I didn't. I'm not even. I'm not
No,
even
no,
just
no,
saying
yeah,
that.
I'm over here just trying to
I'm
find
being
the
honest.
story.
I'm being honest with you. I walked into that, and
That
he
was
wasn't
it.
my people, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It didn't have nothing to do with me or anything. But I'll tell you what, though, because I was in that area, I definitely still got snatched up over that. But that was not. And I didn't get snatched up and taken for it. I'm just saying they have to.
No, 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 for sure.
If they see some shit like that, because he ended up passing away. He didn't live. So,
Oh,
so then
so basically, they just want to know everybody who's outside.
because it literally became a murder scene, and I'm the only one in the pod. Because what happened?
Damn.
Because what happened was I know it sounds crazy, but no, trust me, not like that. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
doors and everything, the whole yard had access to our pod at this moment, type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, she messed up, huh?
Yeah. So when that happened, I just remember I was waiting for her response. So when she started going nuts, I remember, oh yeah, hold on, my celly though. Right after when she started screaming, my celly's like right below her, so she's looking up he looks up to see what she's screaming at, and then he looks over, and I remember these are his exact words. He said, "La verga," and he hung the phone up and ran, and he was a big old fat dude. My celly gordo, man, he ran all the way to the cell. I'm still stuck right here, like I can't even believe all this is happening, kind of. And my celly runs just all the way to my room as fast as he could, and he just shut the door, right? Like just shut it.
Dang, you left your ass out?
He says he didn't notice me right there. He said all he saw was this big motherfucker holding on to that thing, knocking on the window while she's screaming, and he was like. And because I started clowning him, of course. I think the whole pod was clowning him, to be honest with you. But I remember being like, "What was that? What the was that, bro? Are you serious?" And he was like, "Oh, I didn't see you. I didn't know you were out there."
He was in a daze too. He was in awe.
He was like, "I was on the phone," and I said, "Bruh, you really left me out there with that dude?" But no, like honestly,
that's crazy.
but no, so dude ended up walking back to his cell, and he ended up getting all the way to his cell, and I remember.
So he dropped the thing,
yeah,
and walked to his cell.
walked back to his room. Once he seen that she acknowledged him, he started walking back to his room, real slowly, and like
Showing that he's not.
like he was just. I don't think he was trying to show that. He was so out of it he could barely walk. Like you could tell he was big as fuck, and I don't know how much blood somebody can hold, but that looked like something that shouldn't have been inside someone's body. Like it was so much it tripped me out for real, because I was so curious. I'm not gonna lie, when he walked in his room, he shut the door, and I remember being like, I want to see what that room looks like. Like honestly, like I walked past it, and I went and I just kind of like looked in as I'm walking past, and he was wrapping his whole body up. He was wrapping him. He started wrapping him. He was cutting up his sheet. he cut up his whole sheet to make little long strips, and he just turned himself into a mummy. And then
Oh my
yeah, he
God.
turned it. I'm talking. He turned his whole because I watched them bring him out, obviously, and
Yeah.
he had his whole body like a mummy from his like sheets. You know what I mean?
Was there
Yeah.
another body in there?
No, no, there was nobody else in there. But
How the heck did he? So he
So-
stabbed himself.
no, I mean like
I'm
I
over
was,
here
like,
making up a whole story.
So honestly, because the only other thing is that other people had access to it. But I will tell you this though, he was a sex offender.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Everything, the
Yeah.
doors were open.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Oh, okay. Well, entonces that's what he gets, right?
Yeah, that's all it was. So that's why I said I didn't want to make it seem like I was trying to, help or anything with dude. I was just, hey, I don't know nothing. I'm just walking by and seen this. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, when I went past his room, because like I said, the doors were all open. So you know what I mean? Ain't no telling how long he had been like that before he walked out. You know what I mean? It couldn't have been a whole long time, but I'm just saying. So when I went past his room, I remember just seeing like, man, I just remember seeing the blood and it was a grip. So when they came to clean it, they came in these big ass suits. And they put just like a murder scene would be, they put all the yellow things around the pot, and they even put tape going from the stairs all the way to his room, and they made their whole little scene. And so that's the reason that they came and had to interview me, because I was the only one in the pot, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And but like I said, it wasn't even my people. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, like whatever.
Yeah, but anyway, so that right there,
That
I've
was
seen
pretty
the
crazy.
whole room like that when they came to clean it. I remember they weren't prepared for that, so they were like, "Hey, do you guys?" I heard them telling them like, "Hey, you guys just got like a mop bucket or something?" Because like we didn't know it was like this. And those dudes took them to the little porter closet and grabbed them our mop buckets that we used to clean and shit. Gave it to them, and they walked it. They looked like big ass space suits that they were in. They couldn't even walk. They were like big old.
Yeah.
And they were walking in there, and I remember when they stopped and they just almost like as if the room was flooded, like if the toilet flooded, how you would kind of just let the mop kind of and go
Soak
like
in,
that.
yeah.
And then that's how they had to start right there before they walked in the door. They had to
Oh
start
my
off like that.
God,
And
that's crazy.
So that was the craziest. Like and so this lady got fired, obviously, right? So she gets fired, man, and it's such a trip. I ended up I was doing a tattoo because I do tattoos. So I was ended up doing a tattoo later on in life when I had gotten out. And this lady was watching prison stories on TV. And when her sister walked in and was like, "Oh man, you're gonna have to kind of excuse my sister. She's always watching her prison stuff." And she's like, "I'm pretty sure he don't want to see that." You know what I mean? And I was just like, "Oh," and I was like, I didn't really say much, but I remember being like, what makes you like that or whatever? Were you in there or something?" She was like, "No, not really." She was like, kind of, and she was like, "I used to work in there," and I said, "Oh, is that right?" And I'm tatting on her fingers, and I remember on her hand and her fingers, and I remember as she was, as I asked her, I said, "Where did you used to work at?" And she said, "Mostly Buckeye," and I said, "Is that right?" I said, "What years?" And she told me the years, and I said, "Is that right?" And then I go, and I looked at her, and I remember I stopped tatting, and I said, "Hold up, real quick," I said, "Did you get fired?" I asked her. I said, "Did you get fired?" I said, "Did you get fired while you were pregnant?" And she looked at me like, "What the fuck?" And then she was like, "How do you know that?" She was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I don't look familiar to you." I told her. Well, it ended up being her, and I didn't know it was her. She didn't know it was me, I guess, at the moment. We didn't know each other that good. She was just a cool CO though. So like I remember her because of the situation.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was pregnant, and I remember thinking, wow, like that's probably not good for the baby to have her wigging
Those
out
feelings,
like this.
yeah.
But yeah, so we ended up
That's
like later down
funny.
in life, like linking back up. not like that, but ended
No,
up back in
no,
the
for
same.
sure.
And I was just tripping out, and I told her, I said, I don't know if you remember me like that, but yeah, like they tried to mess with me over that, and I don't even got nothing to do with it. But I was like, I was like right next to you, just watching you the whole time. I was waiting for your reaction. I told her I was just sitting there waiting for it, and she was
Why?
like,
What did she
"Wow."
say?
She just said that she remembers that was the craziest thing. So as we're saying this, her sister, because her sister knows me, so her sister was like, "You were there? You were there for that?" She goes, "That's crazy," because she tells that story to everybody. And I said, well, fuck. I said, that's probably one of my craziest stories too that I had to see. You know what I mean? That I saw
Yeah.
because it was a trip. But
That's intense.
the thing that was the trip is just how much damn blood there was out of one person. It was
Person.
just so outrageous, like so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty
You know.
intense.
So, anyways, but that's how that
craziest.
yard was. To
That's
be
the
honest
craziest,
with you,
yeah.
yeah, that's. And a lot of that, though, to be honest with you, that's just how it was in the beginning. Everybody was just, everybody was different back then. You know what I'm saying? And so it's way different nowadays. But back then, it was very, very common. It was just more common for everybody to. People were just different. They just did more of that back then. Like now, everything's a lot more calmer. Everybody's more calmer, and you can't just do stuff anyway. So there's a lot of more like,
More organized.
it's more tighter and stricter, I guess. But it's a good thing though, because honestly, I don't miss. I'm not gonna say I miss that. It's almost
No.
like with the gangbanging. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people to think that I miss the gangbanging, or I'm glorifying that, or I miss the crazy prison days, or I glorify those, because absolutely not.
Those are just our memories of our
Those are
life.
just memories. Yeah, those are just memories. But you know, it is still something that we all went through, though. Obviously, you know
It's
what I'm
your
saying.
story.
So when I'm doing the things with the neighborhoods and all that stuff, it's not to glorify or to be like, oh, hey, let's get back gangbanging again.
Yeah, like
no,
what?
gangbanging already is out. We aren't doing that. I haven't gangbanged since I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, it's just a lot different
Of
now. So
course.
back then it was more common. That type of stuff was
Yeah.
common, is what I mean. Now
So,
it's not.
because you said you did 3 years in Buckley?
I did like four. I think I did four.
So,
in
where did you
Buckley.
go after that?
After that, I went down to a 3. I finally went down to a 3, and I think I never really stayed on a 3. Every time I went, I just got shot right back up. So I think I went down to a 3 for a couple months. I went to Barchi, which is another place in Buckley, yeah, I just kind of stayed on 4s though. I was
so
always in
Buckeye has
4s.
like one prison, but a lot of prisons.
Yeah, so on each complex, Buckeye would be the complex.
Okay.
And within that complex, there's a bunch of yards.
Oh, and so every yard has a different name.
Technically, Buckeye's the city, but the complex name is Lewis. So
Okay.
Lewis is Buckley. Lewis is Buckeye.
Got
but
it.
Buckeye is the city, and everybody just says Buckeye. So that would be like for example, within Buckeye, they got 3-4 yards, maybe 4. They got 3 or 4 yards, and then I want to say there's like 8 or 9 yards total on there. Like 9 yards total, all in Buckeye.
Okay,
Because
okay.
you got like a few 3s, you got a couple 2s, and you got I think like 4 4s in Buckeye. And Buckeye has always till this now I want to say unfortunately it's mostly PC nowadays in Buckeye, but it's not all PC. Maury's GP. Shout out to Maury, man. But there was a grip of 4 yards at one time over there, and now it's just there's just 1 yard for GP there right now.
Wow.
It's crazy, yeah.
Okay, so you said you went somewhere else, and you did the remaining of your time there.
Yes, no. I didn't do. I went down to a 3 yard. From there, I took probably just a couple months, and then I think I was in the hole. I remember I went to the hole over a riot, and then I went back from the hole. I went back up to a 4. I think I only stayed on the 3 yard for a couple months, for like 2 months, and then I went back to a 4. So when I went back up to a 4, I went to. That's when I went to Yuma.
Okay.
Yuma, I think that's where I went home from Yuma, and that's where I was at also over there with DMX.
Tell me about that experience.
So Yuma was just, Yuma's just a super hot place. So it sucks doing time there, man. Yuma's super hot, but I had a lot of my family on the yard with me, so it was super cool. I think I was with like 5 of my cousins at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and one of my cousins that is deceased now was with me over there, so that was probably my last time I got to really
be with him.
I got to really spend time with him like
There's
that.
AC, right?
No, so back then there was no AC. There is now, but there was no AC back then.
Oh, dang, how did you guys survive?
It was all swamp coolers, and so Yuma, they used to say that the walls would sweat. That was a phrase people would use. They'll say the walls sweat. And so I didn't know what they meant by that, right? And when I went into Yuma, I remember the first night I stayed the night, and a couple homies had came to the door and kind of tried to put me up on a couple things, and didn't really know why, but they told me make sure you throw your envelopes all in like a plastic bag and with a Ziploc and all that, you know what I'm saying? And they were kind of hipping me to certain stuff, and I was just like, all right, cool. I didn't really know why they were saying that. They said because it gets humid though, so I did know that. All right, cool. So thank you. I put that. And I remember I woke up in the morning, man, and it was just completely just dripping everywhere. The whole cell was just dripping everywhere, and I was like, because I didn't know. I got up, and when I went to like step
You're
on
like,
the
is it
floor,
raining?
I almost slipped, and I feel the water coming off the roof, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And so I look at the window, and you can't see out the window, so I try to uncover it, but someone outside has to do it too because it's on both sides.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, this is what they mean by that. I didn't know what they meant, and it's because that we use swamp coolers, so the swamp coolers don't work. So they're trying to work, but they don't work. So they just make
Just
that
making
happen.
it worse.
Yeah, they just make it worse. That's all it did.
Oh, did you
It-
put your papers in the envelope?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But no, that was probably the thing that sucked the most about Yuma, man. Just the heat, man, and the no AC. So you're just
Oh,
you're
God.
just sitting there in a swamp cooler. The only way you can kind of stay a little cool is if you just have the fan like right there with you.
Did they
And
give you ice?
You can buy ice, but you gotta buy it though.
Oh, you gotta buy it.
Now it's different though. Now there's laws and shit. There's laws that they put in place that when it exceeds, I want to say 100 degrees, or maybe 90 something degrees, they have to provide you with ice all the time and water now. Some
Yeah,
girl-
because that's like not cool.
yeah, some lady, some woman from the women's prison had passed away, and it was a big thing out
For
there in
overheating.
Arizona. Yep, for overheating, and that's why they have the misters now, because of her.
Oh.
Yeah, she overheated.
What would you say was the nicest thing you experienced?
Man, in prison, I'm gonna be honest. I met some of the best people, some of my best friends, some of the best people I've ever known. So, people are super nice in prison. To be honest with you, like not everybody, of course, but I think everybody, for the most part, has a heart. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of those.
There's
Not
ways of
everybody-
showing it.
Maybe not everybody, but there are a lot of guys that have just big hearts. And I mean, I tried to be one of them too. You know, I tried to always just help somebody if I could before letting them self-destruct or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But the nicest thing, man, man, I've seen so much nice things though. It's hard to say what's the nicest thing, but I mean, I've seen grown men cry all the time just from small gestures, you know, like
Yeah.
there's been plenty of times I you know, just did a favor for him that I didn't even think was really a favor or something, you know, and because whether it was him checking out some cards from somebody that he bought or something that he had to, you know, pass up on. And yeah, and I remember one time I didn't think nothing of it. I remember this happened to me personally, that I actually I didn't think anything of it because it was just a card, and I don't know how much it was, but it wasn't nothing. Like, it didn't even matter really. Like, it was just like, oh gee, are you serious, bro? Get that. What are you talking about? Get that. And he was like, oh, you sure? And I don't know, it was a couple bucks or something, right? Because those type of things are not that expensive in there. They're just a couple bucks. So I remember just being like, yeah. And like, you know, telling my cellie to get it, you know, hey, can you get that to him for me, bro? And then, like, you know, dude got the card and he was just like crying. He just started crying, you know, like he just basically was just telling me that it was his daughter's birthday and stuff, and that coming up, and that pretty much that's what he wanted it for, but he wasn't
Aye.
even gonna mention that because he didn't want nobody to think that, you know what I mean? He didn't want to seem like he was trying to ask for something or use his daughter. And I was just like, oh gee, that's crazy. I was like, but man, that was nothing, bro. Like, you know, I'm glad it helped you, bro, but it made me feel super good though, like that.
That you're able to do that for him.
Yeah, because, and it's something so small, like, you know, you think that's the stuff that don't even count, you think, you know what I mean? But so, I mean, there's people that did that for me all the time, man. I can't really pick out a certain, you know, situation, I guess, but man, there's just all my best friends are from prison, and I love them, you know what I mean? I love the homies in prison because we all had to be together.
That's
Everybody's
right.
just together, you know what I'm saying?
And did you always draw?
Yeah, I always drew as a kid. I was always an artist. I always was, for a juvenile and the minors and stuff, I was always really good.
Okay.
And, you know, when I got to the adults, though, I seen how they were getting down, and I said, "Oh man, I need to either step it up or quit." You know?
Did
what
you
I'm saying?
step it up?
I stepped it up. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And let me ask, did you write in the man's, did you draw in the man's card for his daughter?
Well, that one probably not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't do that. No, I
Okay.
didn't draw that for him, and I don't even think I signed it or nothing. I just remember that he started crying when I did it for him, and that's why it stands out to me. But no, but I've done that plenty of times. Yeah, I used to always, if anybody's in there, what we do for each other, like if it's your birthday, we'll all make sure we somebody, whoever's the artist in the pod, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times it'll be me. We draw the card up, make sure that we get the homie a nice card, and everybody signs it. Everybody will sign it and give it to him, and that's something that I remember always keeping those right there. Or like if we know that one of your family members passed away or something like that,
Give 'em
we'll
a
do that too.
condolence.
Yeah, somebody will draw a card up for him and stuff. You know what I mean? So that's not something that is always a thing, always, but I know it happens a lot. Like the homies that. Like me, I know that I've done that for people several times because the OG did that for me one time, and I
You
remember I was
learned.
like, "That was tight. I like that," so I
Yeah.
started doing it too.
Very nice gesture. Have to.
Yeah.
The little gestures in there
Actually,
come a
you know
long
what?
way.
That's probably it right there. Now that I think about it, the homie that did that when my nana passed away, I think it was 2006, so I was still like 19. I think I was still like 19. And he made me a card when she passed away, and it was a really nice card. And I remember I didn't expect him to do that, and I was like blown away by that.
That was very
Because
nice.
the whole like yard signed it, you know what I'm saying? So I remember like stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's probably the nicest thing I think. Now that I think about it, I'm glad you brought that up.
Oh, you're welcome. What would you say was the saddest thing you experienced?
Oh man, I know probably the saddest feeling I've probably felt, I guess, if you're gonna say like for my
Yeah.
own sad feelings, probably of course losing your people is always that's obvious one that's gonna always happen
For sure.
But aside from stuff like that, like leaving people
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's super sad.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's sad. Because I'm gonna remember because I just remembered.
Yeah.
And she's my friend, and I love my friend, and I've even had her on Indicted, but through via Zoom. We did like a Zoom, right?
I think I've
And-
seen it. Yeah.
Her name is Tasha, and I remember when they told her she was gonna leave to Tallahassee because I was in the feds, right? That I was crying so
Yeah.
hard. We were crying, and I ran to the window, and she had. It was so freaking
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
you get so attached to your friends, and it's like heartbreaking.
Yeah, for sure, man, and especially like when you're actually leaving home too. Like, but no, that happens no matter what. Like you said, for sure, when you're just getting separated, always it's way worse way harder than you thought, huh? Once it happens, and you
Yes.
just feel like, where's my boy at? Where's my girl at? Right?
Yeah.
But no, like even then though, I remember too, even extra, just the feeling of leaving the yard and just knowing that. Like, that I know I'm about to go home right now, and I gotta pass all you guys by, and
You guys have to stay.
Yeah, they gotta stay. So that part right there, I remember, and even if I didn't know the people, to be honest, shit,
Yeah.
I didn't know them. Whoever I was passing by, I just remember being like, damn.
Still mess because you have feelings. What is something, or like what did you learn about yourself? What did prison teach you about yourself?
Shit. Well,
Your first 10 years.
Okay, so my first 10 years, I think the biggest thing that I had to learn and teach myself was that, like, first off, I got to get out of that stage of thinking that doing drugs was cool. That's the first thing I thought. I said, all right, well, I was tired of it anyway. I didn't even know why I was doing it. So I was tired of that anyhow. But I think that just being able to have that goal for myself and get myself clean and stay clean for the rest of my life, you know what I mean? Because I think as a kid I was thinking I was a badass, like I said, and then as I got a little bit older I realized like, hey, I don't remember looking up to no OGs that were smokers. I don't remember looking up to the tecatos in the neighborhood like that. Don't get me wrong, no disrespect. I love all of the homies,
Yeah. Yeah.
all the OGs and anybody. But I'm just saying, like, anybody that was doing drugs like that, like, did I really say I wanted to be like that? Probably not. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I remember looking up to the homies that were balling. I remember looking up to the homies that were, looking nice, doing good. And even taking care of their family and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like all that. I looked up to all that right there. But I was too young to realize that I'm thinking I'm just being a badass. I'm doing drugs, like whatever I do is,
Yeah.
cool or whatever. And I had to switch that. So I think that for my biggest thing was getting my mind right, getting sharpened up in that sense was probably the biggest thing that I had to do. And especially being just the way it was in there and the way that I wanted to look and the way I wanted to the perspective I guess I wanted people to have
Of
you know what I
you,
mean, when
yeah.
they see me for sure, and when the way I'm conducting myself, just everything, like I had to tighten all that stuff up because I just know like, hey, well, what did I look up to, and then as I get older, what do I want other homies or
To
like
look at
my
me
little
like-
homies to look up to or to look
Yeah.
at, you know what I'm saying? Because just stuff is so different now that I take pride in the fact that that I kept I kept it the same my whole life. I just been me and represented the neighborhood and everything that I stood for and everything that I stand for. Like I represented that for 20 years. In what I think is the only way, the best way, and not a lot of people can say they did that. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
So I mean, I am proud of that. A lot of people want to say that that's not something to be proud of or something, you know what I mean? But hey, if you live until you live that sort of life and got through it, you know what I mean? I don't think you can really
Of course.
know that. You
No,
know?
I agree completely with you,
Yeah.
I agree. How did incarceration, because you did 10 years, you were away for a while, how did that affect your relationships with your friends out or your family?
I mean, some good and some not so good. I guess it could go both ways, but I think that for the most part was always good though, man. Like it always. I just tried to take the good out of everything because I guess I had to, But it definitely showed me who was gonna be there, who was not. But then on the flip side, I did so much time that I try to like not do that. I don't like to. If I did that, if I held everybody accountable that didn't write me or something,
You
I would have
no
nobody.
friends.
Yeah,
Yep.
literally. So I try to not do that so much, but I think it strengthened the bonds that it needed to, and separated the ones that it needed to be honest. So
As it
like,
should.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Was there anybody that stood by you through the whole 10 years?
Yes, for sure. I mean, and that's my brother though. That's my bro. So if anybody can say that, it's my brother.
Okay. Shout out to your brother.
I mean, but my family too. There were some family members that of course my nana and tata would have been. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely a lot of family members too though that never forgot about me. So I can't act like it was only him. But if I gotta say somebody who can really say that and be serious and that's him for sure.
Your brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So you mentioned that you did time with DMX
Yes.
in Yuma. That's where you went home from.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so DMX is actually my homie, man. I actually liked him. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people might try to say other stuff.
Just rest in peace to DMX, right?
Yeah, rest in peace to DMX, man. That's the homie right there, to be honest, because I've heard a lot of people say this and say that, and honestly, I don't know if all that's true, but he went home from where I was at. Literally went out those gates with TMZ on the other side of the gates right there. And I know exactly what happened to him because he was right there with me, like in my building, you know what I'm saying? So he wasn't right in my pod, but he was in my building. So we all knew that they came the night before, they rolled him up. And because he was a celebrity, so he went home from there, man. And I don't know where those other rumors come from. I'm not saying I was on every yard with him. It could have happened somewhere. But if he went home from there, it don't make sense, right? So
Yeah.
all I know is he was good over there. He went home from there. That was my boy right there.
So you guys got to hang out.
Yeah, so if I can just say a quick little
Yeah, because you say as your boy. I'm like, is he your boy? Did you guys hang
not
out?
Not like
or
that.
like...
I'm not going to act like it was my
your
dog. But I did used to hang out with him, though, yes.
Okay.
I know him personally, though, yes. So from the 4 yard, on the 4th of July, we were hearing all kinds of like music, and we're in the desert. You never hear nothing, except unless it's on the yard. So we're hearing some loud music from somewhere, and we're in Yuma, so we're literally in the desert. Like you can see the Mexican border right there. You can see the flag from right there.
Oh wow!
Yeah, from the yard. So we're literally in the desert. So I'm like, we're all over here wondering what the hell's going on. What's all that racket? What is that? And the COs were like, oh, DMX is throwing a concert over there in Cibola. And I swear we thought that they were just bullshit. Well, no, because he said he was throwing a concert. He didn't say where yet, but he was throwing a concert. I didn't even know he was even in the prison system at that time. I was like, I didn't know he was locked up, and if I did, I didn't know he was right there.
Wait, he was throwing a concert while incarcerated?
Right. Yes. So I didn't want to believe them. They said that, and I totally didn't want to believe them. And so I kept asking all the other COs because we had what you call a phase 3 rec. So if you were a phase 3, like then if you got into that phase, which is the good phase you want to be in, you have these little extra things you could do. So extra rec was one of them. So we would go out from 8 to 10, I believe, at nighttime. So it was dark, and we were hearing it loud as fuck. So we're like, what is that? And the COs were just nonchalantly saying it. Yeah, oh no, DMX is throwing a concert over there. And so once we heard it a couple times, we thought maybe it was a prank that the COs were doing for some reason. And then they kept telling us like, no, DMX is really over there doing a concert. And we're like, so what do you mean? Like he got allowed to come into the prison for that? And they're like, no, he's on the yard in prison with the inmates doing a concert on the yard.
What?
And I said, what? And so I still...
Girl, take me there.
Yeah, so I still didn't want to believe it. But then I ended up going there later on. And I remember, I'm going to be real, the homies were clowning me because one of the first things I wanted to do was meet DMX.
I know, that's right.
So the homies kind of clowned me a little bit. They clowned me a little bit for that. But anyways, I don't care. I used to bump DMX
I know, that's
when
right.
I was young. So I was like, where's he at, Because I didn't believe he was throwing a concert, for real.
Bro, I don't believe he was throwing a concert.
So once I got there and I asked, was that really like a concert legit? And they were like, yeah, no, they had a stage and everything.
What?
They said they made him a stage. They had real concert equipment and everything.
But you didn't see the concert, though, when you went over there?
I didn't see it, no. No. But he would always come to the pod, like, because, I said we're in the same building, different pod. He would always come to our section over there and do freestyles all the time in the laundromats, and that fool it would be tight. He would get everybody going, like, so it'd be all the blacks, all the Mexicans, we'd all be right there, man. And it's a 3-yard, so it's a little bit more relaxed, you know what I'm saying? And we'd all be just sitting there just tripping out because he would allow whoever wanted to hop in and freestyle.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. He would just go off with him, yeah. And so yeah, like I met him the first day I got there. I wanted to meet him. I'm not gonna lie. So, hey, yeah. So hey, I swear that was one of my things I wanted to do, right. And my homies clowned me for it, straight up. So that's why I'm not even hiding it. They clowned me. They said, hey, that's right. They said this fool seriously fucking wants to meet him. Nah, but anyway, so that was kind of my little experience with him, but he was super cool though, for real. Like as a person, he was cool, and I don't know why. I don't get it. I don't know why a lot of people say that about him. Maybe because he did what he did. He probably used to get high here and there, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what he did. Oh well, I don't judge him for that. Now, hey, if he burned you or something or burned some people, that's different. I don't know all that, but I'm just saying he was a good dude when I knew him, and he wasn't on no funny stuff over there or nothing. So all those little rumors I hear about him, I really don't know where they came from, and if they're true, I don't know, man. But he was cool while he was with me.
You're all, can you throw a concert for me?
I swear, I was like, that's one of the first things I wanted to know. I was asking the homies, like, did they really let him throw a concert here? Like a real concert? Because we heard it, but I still didn't want to believe he was on the yard throwing a concert.
That's funny.
Until they explained it to me, and I was like, wow. They said it got shut down because I guess some OG was trying to like hop on the stage with him all the time. He kept hopping up there trying to dance with him, and I guess they said DMX finally got pissed off and said, hey man, get out of here.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny. Okay, so you paroled from Yuma.
Yeah.
Who picked you up, or how did that go?
So at that time I actually did have a girlfriend.
Wait, perfect. I was just about to ask. I'm glad you said that. Did you have a girlfriend? If she was a pen pal?
She was from my neighborhood. I knew her.
Okay, and she wrote you for years, or like how did that go?
we kind of were like in touch for the most part because she was my friend too. Like we were homies from the neighborhood, so we used to be in touch and stuff. But no, she came a little bit later.
Okay.
I think, yeah. Actually, when I was in Yuma is I think when we first started.
Rating.
Yeah, when we got together or whatever.
Ah.
So yeah, so I did have a girlfriend that who I went home to that first time, but no, we're not together no more.
Okay, so she picked you up, and then what happened? Where'd you guys like? What happened to you?
So she picked me up. I remember the drive home. I was super anxious. Like, I was anxious because it takes a while to get out of the complex, you know. So you got to drive out of this yard, and then you got to go over here, and then you got to go over here. It's like a lot of little checkpoints, you know, because it's
It's big. It's a big.
it's a big complex, yeah, and there's a lot of 4 yards in there, so they got to be like, you know, more security or whatever. But I just remember that was super like. I was anxious going out because I didn't want to. I kept thinking, what if they stop me before we get out and they say, "Hey, no, like
Take
this
this
guy's
back.
not supposed to be let go or something," you know, like. So I just remember being super anxious and trying to hurry up and get out of there. And once we got onto the actual like highway or whatever, I just remember being a little bit relieved, but still like, okay, now we got to get to the city. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to accept it until I was all the way home. Like, I didn't want to fully be like comfortable yet because I just remember being like, all right, now we got to get to the city. Now we got to get to the house. Now we got to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it was just real nerve wracking, I think, and just kind of hoping that nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? And so that would have been 2012. Yeah, so I did about 9.5. It was 2003 to 2012.
And then what
And then
happened
so
to
I
you?
got out and I only stayed out for a couple months. I went right back. And so just to kind of keep it short, man, like I went back. I usually say I did 14 because it's easier just to, say it like that because I came out was real quick. I came out for like 2 months, went right back, and then I did 5 flat. So it was 9.5 and 5 back to back.
But then the teenage years, in total, it's like 20.
Oh no! Because I got out in 2017, and that's the only time I actually stayed out. So I did my 5 years, got out from Maury, which is a 4 yard as well. So in 2017, that's the only time in my life up until now. That's the only time in my life I've ever stayed out, which was 2017 of March to 2019 of. No, 2000 May of 17 to March of 19. So about a year and 10 months I stayed out for. That's the only time I've stayed out ever, probably since I was like 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what happened? What made you go? Like, what did you do to go back?
So when I was out, I probably wasn't fully ready to be out, to be honest with you. You know, I probably wasn't fully ready. I think I just came out just thinking that I could stay out, thinking I was ready, you know, but no, like it definitely hit me unexpectedly the way that it is when you get out, and I was nowhere near ready, obviously, you know what I'm saying? So somebody had stole my car, and I had bought a car off somebody, I was dumb because I don't know what I'm doing. I just know, hey, I got money, like I'll buy the car off you. I don't care if you don't got the tags for it right now. You know,
You just wanted the car.
I just wanted the car because he said that he lost the whatever
Pink slip?
yeah, whatever it is, like the I can't remember what he was exactly saying he didn't have at the moment, but it was something like the registration or the tags or something like that he said he can just easily retrieve, you know what I mean? And he was a friend of the family too, and he came back and he ended up stealing my car, like the same guy that
You're
sold it to me.
kidding.
Yeah, the same guy that sold it to me came back and stole it back with a spare key. And like I kind of launched my own little investigation and finally kind of booked him, and yeah, that was all bad. I went back to prison for a home invasion, kidnapping, armed robbery. So imagine I'm on parole, just did 10 years almost. Barely been out for a couple months, and I'm sitting back in the county with 6 class 2 dangerouses, 6 of them, and then that's basically the only thing worse than that is a murder, which is a class 1.
Yeah.
So I had like, I want to say a total of
What the fuck was that man
6.
thinking?
Yeah, class 2s though, and then like a couple other ones that were like 3s. But I just remember being like, I couldn't believe that I have these charges on me. I'm just like barely even been out, and I'm already back in here, and I'm probably gonna do damn near the rest of my life. I thought, to be honest with you.
Well, thank God that you're
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So what happened?
So I ended up just going and thank God. Long story short, I got 5 years. It was 5 years flat though. There was five of us total, and my me and my co-defendants, and we all got 5 years flat. So everybody just went in and did 5 years, and came back. When I came back out, it was 2017. So from 12 to 17, because it was flat time. So I did the whole five. I mean, even the first time I did all the time too, but I didn't have to. I just did it. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this, because obviously you're older now.
Mm-hmm.
When you went back, you know, and you already know the prison system. You already know how it is. It's like you never even left. Probably that's probably how you felt. Did you feel any different within yourself going back? Like when you realized and you were like, you know what? What the?
I kind of feel like, I guess, I don't know exactly what you mean, but if you mean like how I felt my own self, like how
Like, okay, so you know you were out, and you said maybe wasn't even ready to be out, right? And that could have been true, but when you went inside and you
Oh,
have
it
all these
hurts the same
charges,
way,
you were
yes.
just like,
yeah, no,
like I don't belong here. I need to be out, kind of
yes,
thing.
no, it was probably the worst. I think that was probably the worst feeling I've ever.
Like you had to go through that in order to be
Yeah.
out now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was definitely a very, very, so to get away with five, I was super relieved and felt good about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but then I don't know. So going back, I guess it wasn't any like easier. That's for sure. It wasn't any easier.
Probably
If anything, it was
harder.
harder. Yeah, it's harder for sure, because you already done it, and it's sickening. It's sickening just be back in that jail cell or whatever. You know.
You probably needed to feel that because you said you weren't ready to be out.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
what I
When I
mean.
think back on it, I know that for a fact. I was wilding still, and I try to act like I wasn't doing that much, but I was.
You were. So tell me about these 5 years. Did it go faster?
Yeah, those 5 years, they were rough, but they went fast. You know what I'm saying? They were still a little. I think every whatever part of your life has its own ups and downs and struggles, but I think that 5 years was fairly fast. If I got to be honest with you, I
Oh,
felt like
God.
it went by fairly fast. But that difference from that time to the first one was I kind of like. I turned myself into a moneymaker. You know what I mean? Like I had already been doing that the first time, but it was more towards the end, and so I never really got to really do what I really.
I understand exactly what you're
So
saying.
once I got back, I was like, oh, since I'm here, it's go time now, and that's what I did. I bought my house from in there. I bought I bought everything I damn near owned on the last time, because I was finally just like
You were.
I was finally tired of just like spending the money that I have, I guess, and not ever, making money. You know what I'm saying? Not continuing to
I
make
understand.
make it. And so, I think that as I got older, I was just like, damn, I saw a couple homies. I saw how they were doing it, and I was like, wow, I didn't know that was possible to make that much money in there. And so once I kind of got a little bit more hip to that side of it. That's all I wanted to do. I just was pretty much
Stacking
doing
up.
that. That's all I was doing. From that point forward is pretty much all I did was just try to get money and try to. Hey, I took it like this. I said the first time I kind of did all that crazy shit, and I kind of just did that time, and I did a couple good things for myself, but for the most part, it was just wilding out for the first. So I came back. I said, you know what, I might as well make this worth it. I'm gonna do 5 years. I'm gonna just
Make
do
money.
whatever I gotta do,
Yeah.
whatever I want to do, whatever I can do. I'm going all the way right here as far as getting money.
Yeah.
And that's just what I did, man. I just went super hard with that.
So, and you said you came home 2017.
I came back in 17, yeah. So then so from there I come home in 17, okay, and that's kind of where I was out for the whole time, and so that was my first and only time getting to experience the free world in all reality, for a good
For a
good
long-
stretch at least,
yeah.
it was a year and 10 months, I want to say. And so but then even that has its own probably worst part, of my life, because really, honestly, at this time I already did 14 years. I'm tapped out. Like I feel like I physically cannot do that time no more. You know what I mean? I feel like I just don't. Like my body won't do it. I don't know. Maybe I'll die if I. Who knows? You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I understand.
that's
Yeah.
how I felt already. So having to go back after that, now that was the worst feeling. That one, because I've been out for a year and 10 months. I think I'm.
Wait, you went back?
Yeah, that's why I said I did 20.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
because it
you
was
did.
14
Yes,
plus.
yes, yes, yes.
14 plus 6.75. So I did it.
And what did you go back for?
So that one was the crazy one, man. That one was some whole other stuff, man. Kind of one of those situations that you kind of could never really imagine happening, I guess, until it happens to you, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, meaning I didn't come home probably doing that great. I came home. I was still dibbling and dabbling in the game a little bit. You know, I was kind of still doing a little bit of like hustling, I guess you could say. I was still having people do stuff.
Okay.
I was still having other people do things for me, kind of, and trying to stay thinking I was slick or whatever, right? Trying to stay slick or whatever. But other than that, I was doing good though, and that was only for the first few months. I say only because I stopped. You know what I mean? I realized that I couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? I realized that's not going to happen. And to be honest, one of my friends ended up getting killed, so he was, and I only mentioned that because that's what caused everything, you know what I'm saying? So when my friend got killed, they came after me big time over that, you know what I mean? And not after me like as if I was a suspect or nothing. It's just they came so hard on me over it, trying to force me to cooperate with them. And obviously that ain't something that I do. That ain't something I do. That ain't something I can do. So it is what it is, man. They were trying to break me. They tried to break me for almost a year and a half straight. They tried to break me, and they put 5 cases on me. I had 5 cases total. They were constantly letting me, like, locking me up, letting me out, locking me up, letting me out with crazy ass charges too, and I couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? So I went through some things with that as well, and that kind of opened up a whole new, like, I didn't even know existed right here.
Like
with,
feelings.
yeah, a whole new everything, really, just what they put me through. So I went through that for the whole time I was out, and then ended up having to get forced into trial because of it. I wasn't gonna sign no pleas. I wasn't gonna accept that they were doing this. I wasn't gonna accept it. I didn't want to sign no pleas. I was just like, hey, if that's the way you're gonna do me, then you're gonna have to do me. Like, you're gonna have to just,
Do me.
yeah, that's it. Like, if that's what you want to do over my friend, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know, like, that ain't something that I'm into. That ain't something I'm into. And to be honest with you, it was a tough decision. I mean, it was not a tough decision. It was a tough time of my life, is what I meant, because my girl at the moment felt like I was choosing the streets or this life or whatever over her, in a sense. So I remember those times, like, during trial, just, it was all bad at home, all bad at home. I had to sit there in silence,
That's probably the worst part.
hearing that you're really gonna do this, you're really gonna let this happen. And it's like, I let what happen? You know what I mean? What you mean, let what happen?
Meaning, you're not gonna, like, meaning she wanted you to cooperate.
She says, she said she never would ask me directly.
Yeah, and that, you
But
know what?
she
I'm
would say
so
it.
glad you brought that up. I'm so glad you brought that up. Like, sometimes a woman want a certain type of man, but when it comes to having a gangster ass man, you can't handle it.
Right.
You want the look,
Right.
but you can't handle the life.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
sometimes these women break these men down to the point where they got to go to the other side because they want to choose them, not understanding that their life when they come home is not going to be the same. It's all going to, yes, it's going to be all about you, girl.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be okay.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. No, 100%.
And you're
I
gonna
know
be
exactly.
okay.
That's,
And
super
life is
true.
gonna be
That's-
okay. You're gonna have your husband at home. You're gonna whatever. But how does your husband really feel within himself?
Right. Yeah. No,
Like, you
that's
really
super.
broke your man down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and so I remember that being, like, super just, I don't know.
No,
like
just depressed,
that
bro.
was the depressed
Depressed.
time. Yeah. Especially because
Depressed.
I had dogs. Hey, I'm a dog lover, so I love my dogs, and that's like my kids because I don't have kids. So to me, those are my kids. So
Yes.
hell yeah, I felt bad getting stripped away from my kids and my you know what I mean, my whole
Yeah.
house and everything. You know what I mean? I didn't like that. Shit. You know what I mean? If it was anything else, I would have done it. If just hypothetically, if I could have done anything else to, you know what I'm saying? Like, if whatever it would have took in life, I'm saying, if anything else other than that, I would have done it. You know what I mean? If it meant
Anything
for,
else other than snitching, basically
but
cooperating.
the thing is like, so people don't get it. They don't understand that when you meet someone like what you're just saying, and you think that's what you want, and and it happens, and then you see that.
It's
Well,
not the
some of this
outcome.
stuff, yeah, you don't get it. You just don't get it. Like some of this stuff involved with the lives that we live is just stuff you
Yeah.
can't fathom sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Situations you couldn't fathom because
Yeah.
how could I ever, how could I ever imagine that my homie's gonna, you know what I mean? That's gonna happen with my homie. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I mean, you lose a lot of homies, but I'm talking about, he was
Whatever
with,
situation
yeah,
you're, yeah.
he was with me that day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so what happened?
So pretty much I ended up fucking just throughout that whole year and a half, I was going from, courts every
Because you
week.
said you went to trial.
Yes, and I finally ended up inside trial because they forced it on me, and this one was a felony flight. So, and it's so stupid, man. They were basically charging me with something that they did themselves. They tried to pull me over. Well, they did pull me over. They pulled me over. I pull over to the side. They get behind me. They run my plates. And right after he ran my plates, he takes off. He just turns his lights off and he just straight bounces. And I remember me and the homegirl were like, what the fuck? What the hell was that? And I'm thinking, like, I don't know, probably what anybody else might think. Maybe that something
got a
bigger
call.
came up, right? Who knows? It was my lucky day. Who knows? I don't know. All I know is that happened. And I told her, well, she's like, what do we do? What do we do? And I said, I don't know. What would you do? I told her, I said, shit, we're just going to keep it moving. I said, what, you want to go to the police station? You want to go and ask them why they didn't just finish pulling us over? Or what? I said, go ahead. I ain't going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I did what I think anybody like me or us would have done and just, hey, I don't know. Maybe you had something bigger and better to do. Got a big call somewhere, right? And I had to go. No, that wasn't it though. I ended up finding out inside trial that he did that because the dispatch had told him that they got a big investigation going in on me and that they can't pull me over. And you don't find stuff out like this until trial.
Yeah.
So they don't have to release anything until trial. You know what I mean? Once the trial comes, and that's why a lot of people like to run trials though, because you got to
So you
bring
get to find out,
everything
yeah.
out. Every person has to come out. Every face has to come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the only cool thing about trial. But other than that, man.
Yeah, I think before they used to make people like one person take it to trial at least. I
Yeah.
don't think they do that anymore.
All I know is I learned from this trial. I got a taste. I had 3 trials, but I only went to 2. Inside my second one, I would have, if I was gonna keep running them, they wouldn't have offered me. If they didn't offer me the plea inside the second one, I was gonna run all 3 of them. I had my whole life on the line. Even on the second one, if I just lost the second one, I would have got 75 just from the first and second one put together. It would have been 75.
So what happened? Did you end up winning, losing? Like
So
what
on
happened?
the first one, no, I go in. So on the first one, the first trial, I was fighting from the streets and I lost. Okay, for the felony flight. So I lose that one, and that one right there was carrying anywhere from 5 to 7. And then the next case that I started trial on, now I'm locked up, starting my second trial. So I'm in county now, going through my trial. On my first one, I was going from my house, obviously, was fighting it on the streets.
Yes.
I ended up getting booked, lost the first one, but they don't sentence you right away because you got more cases to fight. So they just hold that right there and they say, okay, you're doing 5 to 7.5 though because you're category 3. Any normal person, it would have been, I think it was like 2 to 5 or something like that. But because it's me, it's 5 to 7.5. You know what I'm
Got
saying?
it,
Because they
yeah.
have categories, and once you're in that cateroll, you get
More charges,
rolled, basically.
more
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, so pretty much it was going to give me 5 to 7K. So now I run my second one. I'm like, okay, we're going to keep running these. Then you guys, it blew my mind that I lost that trial right there, because what I told you is exactly what happened. And they still came back. U.S. Marshals came back a few months later, actually shot me a few months later for that, over that right there, over the felony flight case, talking about that I had a warrant, that I was on the run. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And that was 4 months after that. So 4 months after that, I go through this. And while that happened, my homie was with me. We were walking down the street to go to Circle K, and they booked him on something totally different, but they chose to do all this at the same time. You know what I mean? And yeah, sure enough, so they end up taking me to the hospital. As I'm in the hospital bed, cuffed up to the thing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the only people they want to have walk in there are the homicide unit, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's all I went
So
through.
the feds shot you.
U.S. Marshals.
U.S. Marshal shot you
Yeah.
with your friend.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now. Okay.
Yeah, but he didn't have nothing to do with anything
Anything.
like that. He was just walking with me, but they arrested him on something totally different.
Wow.
Too,
So they shot you. U.S. Marshals shot you. They took you in. Obviously, they had you in only the DAs or like, what did you say, detectives?
Well, it was in the it was a hospital in Mesa that they have a.
For prison?
No, it's basically where they have a little contract with that hospital. I think everywhere does it.
Yeah,
so like
I see what you're saying.
LAPD will have a certain contract with a certain hospital that everybody that gets hurt or whatever will go to that
Got
hospital,
it.
right?
Yes.
So they do that over there with this Mesa one. So they took me to the Mesa one, and yeah, they just kept me surrounded. They kept me surrounded by all the U.S. Marshals, right? While they were all strapped up with their rifles all behind me. That's deep,
And you're
like,
handcuffed to the bed.
yeah, and I remember like we were just going at it, talking shit to each other, right? Like, and I remember every time the doctors and the nurse would leave, because it wasn't nothing too bad. It wasn't nothing too bad. But I will say, I was more there for the documentations than anything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't like I got that hurt or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
But I was there for the documentation.
Bro, you got shot, period.
Yeah, still, so either way, and the coldest part is being shackled up in there. After they did that, they shackled me up still in the middle of the street like I was in SMU. I'm talking my ankles all the way to my waist, all the way to my wrist. Like they did me like I was in SMU in the middle of the street in the hood. It was crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
So after shooting me too. Yeah,
Wow.
They don't rush none of that. You know what I mean?
Dang.
And so then they take me to the hospital and then put me in the
In the
bed
bed.
right there, and they cuffed me up to the bed and shit, because you still got to be cuffed, because I don't know, maybe they're saying you're still detained or something,
Wow.
Yes.
So what happened?
So she comes in and she says a smart aleck remark, basically, insinuating, pretty much like, damn, Steven, like, that sucks. I'm sorry to see you here. What's up now? You ready? You ready now? No, type shit. Not even type shit. Exact words. You ready now? You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, that's the type of shit I'm talking about. That's the type of shit
Wow,
I
they
went
put you through some stuff.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening to you? Like you said, you had to turn yourself. You had to do 4 years or something.
So yeah, I basically ended up in the second trial getting finally some sort of love, where they ended up offering me a plea, because I had already denied 7 years. So when I denied the 7, they were all tripping out, like, why you ain't just signing this? I was so willing to keep fighting, even though I already lost one. I was just not gonna accept that they were doing this to me, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
The second, all the other ones were drug charges. You know what I'm saying? All the other ones were drug charges. All 5 cases were drug charges, and all except the felony flight. And all 5 of them were, of course, no victim crime.
Yeah, it was just drugs.
It's just me versus cops. That's
Wow.
it. Every case was me versus the cops. That was it. And that's why you don't win those cases. So
Yeah.
it hit me inside my second trial that, when I walked into the second trial, I have a leg brace on one leg. I have a vest up here that I got a shirt over it, but the vest is for if you act up, they'll shock you.
What?
Yeah. So you have to put this vest on and put your suit over it, and then you put it's like kind of like Forrest Gump, you know, it looks like a Forrest
Like
Gump
the
type of thing that you attach to your leg, and that's just to keep you from being able to physically run. Yeah, you kind of have to
What?
swing your leg and you go in, and so yeah,
That's crazy. I've
yeah,
never heard that.
yeah, and you're shackled, and you got cuffs on too in the front. But you'll be in a
Wow.
suit, like they're supposed to not know you're in jail, but you come in all
Yeah.
you know, come in walking all
Wow.
stiff and
Did they
legs
shock you or
swinging.
no?
No, hell no, I didn't
You
do
behave
nothing.
right?
Yeah, I behaved in court, you know. But
I
thank
mean, it's
God
not
though.
funny, but you know what I
No,
mean?
no, but thank God though, man. So I just remember that second trial though, man. When I first started and I did the jury selection and everything like that, man. There was not a single person in the courtroom with me, none. And I remember that's when it really opened up my eyes to where I was like, wow,
I'm alone.
I did 14 years already, and here I am right here all by myself. I was thinking this is crazy, right? Not saying that I didn't have nobody in the world there
No.
for me, but I mean nobody was physically in the room though in the world, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just saying, like I remember being like, this cannot be happening. You know, I got my whole life on the line over nothing. This
Wow.
cannot be happening. You know, and so pretty much I just went through that for a year and a half. And if I gotta be honest with you, when I went back and I finally signed for the 7K, signed for 6.75K. So I go back and I do that time, and this is when I told myself I I have to be out. Like I have to make a
Change.
change. I have to. And I told myself if I want to do it, I got to start now. Like I can't start, and I can't use this 6 years to say fuck it, one more round and get my money up. You know what I mean? I could have done that, but I didn't. I told myself I'm just gonna chill and do this time and get the fuck out. I said, you know, thank God that I got a opportunity to get out, because just a couple
Facts.
weeks ago I thought it was a wrap. I thought it was a wrap. So when they finally came back and offered me the 6.75, I signed that thing so quick because my whole life was flashing in front of my eyes.
Facts.
Then I told myself, I said, I'm about to get 75 years for sure if we run this trial. Like I'm guaranteeing it to myself. I know it. You down to go do that? Go ahead then. Is what I was talking to myself about. You know what I mean?
Self-talking for sure. Yeah.
And so yeah, I broke a little weak and signed that plea, man. You know, but that plea is just one of them normal pleas. It don't got nothing to do with no funniness or nothing like that. You know, just hey, straight up, hey, you sign this 6.75. We go ahead and fucking make it all, tie it all together. Basically, you go and do your fucking 7 years and go on about your life. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to ensure myself a release date for myself, because I remember the whole time I was fighting. I was fighting for old girl, for my ex at the time. I was fighting. I was doing all that in my head because I know that she couldn't handle this again. I know she couldn't handle it. So my dumb ass is sitting here really putting my life on the line just because I know she can't take no more time. So I'm putting my life on the line over her dumb ass is how what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I
You weren't thinking of yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I might have not even ran trial, to be honest with you. I don't know. Like everything in itself though was everything together basically was, you know, what made it so bad, I guess. So
Yeah.
you know, so when I finally did see that, and it opened up my own eyes, and I said, damn. I better do this because I'm over here fighting for something that ain't there, and then I'm gonna end up losing my whole life, and it still ain't
Facts.
gonna be there.
Facts. Facts.
So I finally said, you need to snap the fuck out of it and sign that damn plea.
Facts.
But the good thing about it was I had already denied 7, so they went 3 months down, offered me 6.75, and I signed it so quick. But anyways, so that next 7 years was probably like the hard time of my life, the real hard part, to go through that next, to do a whole nother 6 after doing you know
14?
14, yeah. It was super hard, but I told myself I got to start now. So I started once again. I always start on the 4. You know, they're always gonna shoot me to a 4, so I go to a 4 in Winslow and Kaibab. And shout out to Kaibab too. That's actually the homies too over there. That's always good. But Kaibab, I started in Kaibab the second time or the third time. So when I came back, I told myself I can't do this, right? So what I mean by that is I started like trying to take action on that, meaning
This was kind of like your point to where you're like, you know what? I can't do these things the same anymore.
right, yes. Yeah, so on that last 6.75, I just kind of tried to get myself to pretty much just change and stop doing everything that I was doing, as far as just, you know,
The money.
yeah, that, and just anything else, anything and everything you could think of. I just had to like chill out with, you know what I'm saying? because I've always just done, I've always been myself anyways, you know what I'm saying? Never try to be anybody or things like that necessarily, but I mean, hey, I was in there for 20 years and went as hard as you can go
Yeah.
type of thing for 20 years, I guess, and so I told myself, without trying to do that is what I'm saying, so basically it's like anything that comes with the lifestyle, I just had to try to stop, like, meaning, yes, whether it's in there making money or whether it's in there putting in work or anything like that.
You
You know what
just
I mean?
kind of basically just did your time.
And trying to do too much and trying to, I just had to just chill out
I
with everything
understand,
it was.
and
You
I
know what I'm saying?
feel that everybody understands what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
You know, like you just chilled.
But while still keeping myself straight, like
Exactly.
I keeping my values, keeping my morals, keeping
I understand,
my,
for sure.
I saw OG on here I don't know, I can't remember his name, but I remember I saw one of the OGs that was talking about it and saying, like, you don't have to debrief or do all that stuff
Okay,
just
yes.
to change your life. You know what I mean? And I respected that guy and his story. His story was so much like mine. I listened to him and I was tripping out on everything he went through. But anyway, yeah, that's super true, man. And I try to tell people that all the time, like, you can still do that while still. I mean, hey, if I kept my name good, why you can't keep your name good? It's just how I feel with a lot of my own homies. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes it starts turning into where they look at you almost as the outcast because shit's so different now. You know what I mean? And because I kept it the same my whole life and been the same and still in the same sort of, you know what I mean, standings or position as I've always been. And some people might look at that like, oh, you just don't want to ever change or something, but really that's not even close to being the truth. So matter of fact, somebody who can change while keeping their name good and while keeping all their values like that is the one I respect, actually. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, it is
It's
what it
facts,
is. I'm
though.
not going to take away from anything else somebody else does good or something, but a lot of times it does take that, a lot of times, my bad, let me just take these off. A lot of times it does take that, though, where people just get into one situation or the other to where, something has to open up their eyes in a bad way for them to finally say whatever, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I don't believe it always has to be like that, man. Like, you can still keep your morals, your values, keep your name straight, keep your word, keep everything that you believe in, man. And it's sad because even nowadays that people that are not, you know what I'm saying, whatever, they already went and messed up, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? It's sad because they don't even want to, like, rep the same things that we rep no more. They don't even want to rep the brown. They don't even want to, you know what I'm saying? You don't even like to rep the brown no more, bro, because you think that that's repping something else, or you don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, for us in Arizona, man, we've been growing up, like, in the neighborhoods, every one of our neighborhoods in the East Valley, like, we rep the 13, we put the 13 on everything. Like, that's what it is in the hood. So we've always done that. It didn't take prison to do that. So it's kind of sad when you see people that try to be like, oh, look at me, because I might look at me as something bad because I'm still, keeping my shit the same or keeping my values the same. You know what I mean? That is, I mean, it's just like any OG that started doing good and got their life together or something, and he still got a tattoo on him that represents the hood or something. That ain't nothing bad. You know what I'm saying? That ain't bad, and a lot of the OGs still love the hood because that's what they came from. You
You
know
know
what I'm
what?
saying?
I like that you say that you said that, because it's true. Just you do your time. For example, you did your time. You stood. Your name solid. As your individual, it's not even about what others think. It's
Right.
about yourself,
Right.
where you stand within you. And you're able to hold yourself high, and you did all your time, and you don't need to be like it. You're not ashamed.
Right.
And it's like people that choose to do whatever they do, they try to down talk, like you say, the people, the older men that still want to
Yeah.
rap whatever they rap. And it's like, it's just because you weren't able to. So now you're
for
down
sure.
talking,
For sure,
because you're
and-
down
and-
talking
and-
because
and
you couldn't handle it.
It would be the
So-
same if it was the other way around. You'd feel the same. You know what I mean? You'd feel the same way too. You know what
And
I'm
it's
saying?
like they don't. I feel like, and it's funny. I saw a TikTok. I literally saw a TikTok of an older man saying, people that go to the other side or whatever the case might be, don't have the right to talk bad on gang, the gang members. You couldn't handle that life.
Yeah.
So me and the older man said, me as a retiree, I'm already done. Gang could talk shit about gang banging because I lived it and I'm over it and it's not good for you guys.
Right.
That is a big difference.
Yeah.
You're just down talking because you couldn't survive it.
Right,
Because
yes.
of the choices or whatever. Because I don't know, whatever it might be. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
So it's basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
But let's not talk about that.
Okay,
Let's go back to, you're changing. You can't do the same things that, because you need to change because you want to come home. Because you have the chance to come home.
Right. So I did that. I did that for the rest of the time. So I just the last 7 years, whatever. It's actually kind of boring. Like I won't even get into all that because I just literally try to just do my time.
Well, it's not boring. You
as
have to be
much as
with
I
you.
could. But I definitely have something I want to say about it though, because it's probably the biggest part of my life, honestly. Like that's when I found God though, you know what I'm saying? So that's when I went back in there and like I had to go through a lot of things in my own head, in my own brain, you know what I mean? And so when I've always been whatever you want to call it, spiritual, religious, whatever, but at that time I finally found God. And so that is what I think is the big difference, to be honest with you, because after that's when, hey, I really did do it. And now don't get me wrong, no, absolutely not. I'm not the Bible thumper type of dude. I'm not going to preach to you. I'm not going to do none of that. You know what I mean? Unless I feel I have to for some reason. You know what I mean? If you got close to me or something, I feel like I got to tell you something, I might. But other than that, I'm not the type to do that. But I definitely have to put that in there right there because that was the turning point or the biggest thing in my life. That was probably the only thing that I didn't have. Maybe that's why it's always been like that.
Exactly.
And so I just always remember, man, that like I had been through a couple of situations that I actually prayed and asked stuff like, while pretty much if I'm already thinking I'm of religion and then I do that, so it was almost like blasphemy, I guess I felt like. But anyway, so I remember doing things like that, asking stuff and then forgetting about it, completely acting like, oh, maybe that wasn't you or whatever, right? And so this time I felt like he was showing me, putting me through a real bad lesson to finally get there. Like he broke me down and had to remold me basically. And
that's right.
Yeah, and it was crazy. So, but this time. I kind of did most of that time all by myself, to be honest with you. Like I kind of did it for the most part, not all by myself. There's people there, and still, bro, still everybody there. I still had a lot of friends and people, pen pals or whatever. I still had a lot of people there, but I was kind of just more on my own doing that time, and I wanted to just do me. But before I got out, that's when I ended up with my new girl. So I met my new girl. When I got out in 17 to 19, I had actually met her doing a tattoo on her. So we already knew each other, but, things changed on both of our ends. And so she ended up finding me, and that's when I got with her. So that we've been together for like 2 years now. So I've been out for a year. We got together like right at the end before I got out this last time. And I got out from Yuma again. I came home from Yuma again. So in 2000, it would have been last October. So
2024.
24, yes. I was confused. So 2024 of October is when I came home, and basically I came home to a whole new life. Like she got 4 kids, so I came back to something. Basically, I lost everything over here, but I
gained
did gain
so much.
this. Yes, so I'm grateful for that. And honestly. It was something I would have never ever imagined that I would be putting myself in a position where I'm having a bunch of stepkids and stuff. I almost never would have thought I would do that, but definitely that's how it went.
Sometimes the way things we think are going to be are not how God wants them to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So you've been out for a year. Let me ask you, because obviously we're
a little short. Yeah.
What has been the hardest thing for you to adjust?
The hardest thing for me to adjust to is, I think, just dealing with my anxiety and my PTSD. I was left, I got left a lot of that. So I think that right there is the hardest thing to adjust to. But I mean, everything really, like my whole life, everything I knew, including my tata's house. So my nana and tata, the house that they were at. I mean, that house is like a landmark in the neighborhood, and they've been there for 80 years, you know what I'm saying, in the same house. So I'm actually third generation Chicano from my family. So that house right there has so much history to it and so much roots, and it's not there. It's there, but it's abandoned now because when they passed away, everybody just,
Left.
it went, yeah, it just went to shit, man. So that is not there, and that's the hub. Like, that's the hub of everything. Even if there was never nothing going on, you still had Tata's house, no matter what. And now
Got
that's
it.
not there. So nobody's there no more. Everybody's doing their own thing, and the cut gone. And so I lost my house. I lost everything that I did have because somebody wanted to go and sell my house while I was in there and sold everything inside of it. So, imagine probably whatever, you could imagine your whole house that
Yeah.
you built just getting sold with everything inside of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was different. I think just all that was
Everything.
just everything was so hard, so like different. So it was just hard to adjust to life, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What is something that you do still that you used to do in there?
Oh, I watch Seinfeld still. I still watch my show. I have
face.
to watch my Seinfeld or certain shows from in there that I always watch, like the Storage Wars and things like that. I'll still watch some of those shows. But I don't know, honestly. I think
Like-
I don't wear my chanclas in the shower. No, I don't do any of that stuff. I don't know. It's hard to say. I do a lot of stuff that, like, honestly though, because that's what I know.
That's
so,
you.
So almost anything
It's like
we
that.
can kind of say I do because instead of fixing this the normal way, I'm gonna remember how to do it from prison. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like, hey, do we got a staple or something, or do we got like does somebody got a needle or something, like you know what I mean? And I'll just hook it up myself real quick. You know what I mean? So like a lot of things that I did
That's
in
cool
there,
though, yeah.
I still do it like that out here if I can, because it's the easiest way.
It's
for
your
me.
way. I mean, it's how it is, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. What did freedom feel like?
I definitely cherish it. Like, I cherish it in a different way. I think honestly, it feels super good now. Like, as you get older, I think some stuff feels different just in general. I don't even know how to explain it, but I just know that I cherish it for sure. And I don't think I really cherished it before like that. You know what I'm saying? And fully understood that, hey, this is about to be over. Like, you know what I mean? Like, life is
Yes.
too short. You know what I'm saying?
You had to go through that.
Yeah, I just pretty much is saying, you know what? I'm at that age where, hey, I'm still fairly young. But
No,
the thing
you're
is-
young, bro.
But the thing is like, hey, I lost all that time already. I don't got time to try to catch up to it. But hey,
I'm so
You know
glad
what
you
I'm
said
saying?
that. Because
Yeah.
trying to catch up will set you back.
yeah, for sure. So I just cherish the freedom and the people around me more. That's really all it comes down to, you know? For sure.
Okay. What would you say to the version of your younger self?
Oh man, I don't know. Honestly, I've thought of that before too, because that's a tough question. But it's not a tough question. I just don't know what I would say other than, man, like, I don't know. I would love them. I would respect them. I would be like, you know, I mean, I don't
Yes.
know. I would, but I'd be like, hey, bro, like, you better buckle up, get ready.
Tying up, fool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But honestly, like,
You don't
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah, that's a rough one. Honestly.
Because you could easily say, "Oh, I wouldn't change nothing." I don't know, but I would just at least tell them that, hey, I love you, I love myself, like, respect myself, and say, hey, get ready though, get ready, you're about to go through it.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Do you feel that society allows people to have second chances?
Yeah, for sure. I think depending on what part of society, but yeah, absolutely. I think they do. If you get the right people, for sure. Like, I got a lot of good support, so I probably wouldn't even be doing. I probably wouldn't be doing good if I didn't have the support I have. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
and not just with my immediate family, but I'm talking just friends and everybody. So yeah, I'm sorry, I kind of got lost.
No, you're good. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, so last question before we go. Is there anything that you would want to say to the younger generation before we go?
Yes, absolutely. That's one of them. That what I was already touching on, man. That everything is so different now, man. I love the little homies, man. I got to know a lot of the little homies around too, so I know the new generation. I've got to know it a lot too, and it's so different. But the first thing first is that you know, there's nothing to try to prove. That's for sure. There's nothing to try to prove. Like there's still some fools out there gang banging. There's still some areas and even in Arizona, you know, where people are actively gang banging and stuff. And it's always the little homies. You know what I mean? It's always the youngsters.
Well, it's supposed to be the youngsters.
That's all. Yeah, that's exactly who it's supposed to be, right? And so like I do tell them all the time. I try to tell them, man, like that really you're fighting against yourselves, man. Honestly, straight up, like it's literally like breaking up and fighting against yourselves. That's all it is, and there ain't nothing that's gonna good come out of that. This is obvious stuff right here that anybody's gonna say, obviously, but I guess my thing is just to tell them, like, honestly, there's nothing in prison. You can't go up you can't think that you're gonna go and go up in there and do something like I don't know, like when I was young, that's how it was too. I mean, everything that's how we always felt. So so like you want to go to prison almost, it's almost like you have to.
No, it's a thing. It's really a thing.
And my thing is to tell them that that's not true. That part right there is super not true. Like that you have to go to prison to try to be this or to be that. You know what I'm saying? That's super not true. And honestly, it's not the time for it no more either. You ain't going to be able to do the same things you used to be able to do anyway. So, period. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to do it the 2025 way. So, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, whatever way that is, right?
Yeah, so, like, don't think you're going to, like, honestly, it's just not the thing to put yourself in a position to feel you have to do to have a certain image or something like that, because it's...
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. I got a lot of homies who have done good, and especially if you're out here starting families, like you're having kids or stuff like that, like that's the main thing. It's hard to talk to a youngster and really change their lives for them.
Sure.
But if you got kids and you starting to make families, then that right there, I would hope, even stuff like that, you got to take care of what you're doing out here. You got to take care of your responsibilities, your families, and all that. And you don't have to. Nobody got to do. You don't have to lose all that just to have love and to be loved and to still love each other, even if you are from the hood. We're all from the hood, you know what I mean? That's what I try to represent and stand for all the neighborhoods, man, because on the real, that's
right.
That's where I came from, and that's these kids, they don't even want to fight no more. They don't even want to fight each other no more, you know what I mean? They just get to reaching at their waist and stuff, and it's crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, bro, it's not that serious.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, and so I just hope that they can just get it together and not, try to stick together more is what I mean by get it together. Stick together more, because you're going at your own people, literally going at your own people for the most part, you know what I'm saying? And then just to have to suffer over it, you know what I'm saying? If I could keep my nephew or somebody from going in there, and because he thinks that
it's cool.
He thinks that I think that's cool. So I have to constantly tell them, hey, bro, that ain't, if you think I'm okay with that, you're tripping. Like, don't try to impress me with that. That's what you mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the first one to tell them. So I know a lot of people probably have a different opinion, thinking that I'm not like that.
I agree.
No.
I love that you said that. I feel like older homies that experienced the same lifestyle as yourself, and a lot of us are like that.
Yeah.
They don't want to see their nephew go through the things that we went through, that you put yourself through because of they don't need to. When they don't need to. How do you feel?
I feel good. I appreciate the time, man.
You don't look nervous anymore.
Yeah, I was super nervous at first, man. This is my first time doing this, but I had fun. I appreciate you guys, man, for having me on here for real, man. Hey, shout out to all California, man. Shout out to Cali.
Shout out to Arizona.
Shout out to Arizona.
Thank you for taking the
of course,
drive.
man. Yeah.
You know, shout out to Wifey's concert.
Yeah. Shout out to my lady. Shout out to my lady and all the kids over there. I love you guys.
Love that.
Thank you so much for
No,
having
you're
me right here.
welcome.
Okay. Shout out to the Victoria too, man. Shout out to the neighborhood. I
That's
gotta
right.
put the neighborhood
Yes. That's what it's called, Victoria.
Yeah, La
Okay,
Victoria.
La Victoria. Shout out to the homies in La
out
Victoria.
there. Yeah.
That's right. Well, again, thank you for coming and sharing
Thank you. I appreciate
Pockets.
it.
It's
Yeah,
wait, before we end, where did you get that name from? I've never heard anybody call it with their name Pockets.
Oh man, see, so that's just an old story. It's a super boring, old, stupid story that you don't want to hear. I wish I could say it's because I've been having long pockets my whole life, but no, it wasn't that. You know what I mean? It wasn't that.
So what was it? Wait.
It's just a stupid story. They used to. It started off as hot pockets, which is why I say it's stupid because.
You always wanted to eat the hot pockets?
It was a stupid story. You want to hear it real quick? Is that what you
Go,
want?
go.
I don't really want to tell it if you don't want to hear it.
I want to hear what your name is Pockets.
I'm sorry.
No, you ain't gonna trick me.
I'm sorry. So it was just a stupid story. I was little. We were watching. The homies were doing acid, and they were watching that movie Austin Powers.
Okay.
Okay. This was back in the day before I went to prison, and they were watching the movie. It's kind of embarrassing. That's why I said that. But it's all good. These motherfuckers kept calling me Mini Me from the movie, saying, well, my homie did. It's my older homie. He kept saying that I was his Mini Me, basically. You know what I'm saying? Which I didn't know what the movie was at the time. I didn't see it yet. They saw it all tripping on acid, and he was calling me his Mini Me. And he basically kept asking me questions from the movie, and I didn't get it. I didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So I started, I was getting a little bit upset, and I'm like, bro, I don't even know what you're talking about. But he started asking me if I'm hungry, and I thought he was just asking me if I'm hungry. I said, no, I'm good. And then he was like, "You sure? Not even for a hot pocket?" But he was saying the line from the movie, and I didn't get it.
I see.
I didn't get it, so I was just everybody else was laughing. We're kids.
Yeah.
They're kids, and they're on acid, so they thought that they were being funny, and I didn't get it. And I just remember I got all butthurt about it because
You're still mad about it.
because they were clowning me on it so hard. Hey, so as I got older, I finally said, "Look, we're not doing that, but." We'll leave pockets. We can keep
Pockets is cool.
We can keep it half and half. I remember I kind of even was asking all the homies like, would it be better if we left it with like hot, or if we left it as pockets? Because it's got to be one or the other. We ain't doing both. Like I ain't no. You know what I mean?
That's
And so
funny.
we cut it down to pockets. That's how it is.
Then you're still pissed about it. I was like, damn, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. You're gonna probably no.
Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Negra. I appreciate your
No,
time
you're
so much.
welcome.
You and your husband, man. I thank you guys, man. I like your show too, man. I
Thank
checked
you.
it out too. Thank you guys.
Thank you. I mean, I don't think you would be on my show if you didn't like it.
Yeah, no, I did. I liked everybody on it, man.
Thank
Shout
you.
out to Indicted TV,
That's
man.
right.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram.